The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
We all know January is one of the coldest months of the year, and not that cheery, fun kind of Christmas cold. Nah, just the dark, dank January cold. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is well aware of this, and that's why they're offering $40 off a furnace tune-up to keep you warm during the Minnesota cold. The last thing you want is to be huddled around an iffy space heater you bought from some shady targeted ad. Oh, and how about this? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning has now been helping Minnesotans for over 95 years. So book your appointment now at standardheating.com. That's standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
Ah, you dirty bastards. You filthy sons of... It's Friday morning. 93X Rocky, you know the rest. She's 5:44. Welcome to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. By God, look at you, Josh. You're gorgeous.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm freezing is what
Look
I am.
at you.
I think I might be suffering some sort of condition with how cold I am today. I don't know what's going on.
Well, no, it ain't you. It's awful cold here in the building.
I run hot usually.
Awful cold in here.
Yeah, you got the big jacket on and everything.
I had to bundle up.
You have to get one of these big furry sweaters that like I'm wearing because I feel fine.
I don't know if I could pull off a sweater. I think if I came in here in a sweater, you guys would all make fun of me.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't think so. What if that sweater was really tight, turquoise, and it had a turtleneck?
And it was ribbed?
Ribbed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like maybe a size and a half too small. I could live that one down.
We wouldn't say a word if you came in here with the ribbed, tight, turquoise turtleneck.
Yeah,
we
nobody would
say.
ever bring that up decades later.
It is. It's cold in here, and
My fingers are cold.
My fingers hurt.
it's that way every day. Today is a little more overwhelming than most.
I bet a big hug from Dana would warm me.
Coming in.
Well, I'm going to little spoon it with you there, pal.
Oh, man.
Bring it in tight.
Here's the deal. Later on, we'll jaw jack with Vikings long snapper Andrew DePaola. A listener will hop on air for our Purple Pick'em bit. And they'll be tasked with making some score predictions for Monday's ball game. Lots of money to be made there. We got this and that and some other things, huh?
I hope this isn't our last one. I hope we've got more Purple Pick'ems for a little bit here.
Let's take her all the way to the big game.
Yeah.
Big game.
The championship game.
That's right. So, we've got things to do. I suppose now that the work week is coming to a close, we ought to get some drinks in us when we get a chance. I think we've earned it. Tonight, tomorrow, Sunday, whatever. Kick back, have a few cold ones, a few laughs. Maybe at home, maybe at your neighborhood roadhouse. Who here has been cut off at a saloon?
Never.
Nope.
My buddies have been cut off.
Didn't ask about your buddies, did I? Did I ask about anyone's buddies?
No, Nick, I'll be honest. I paid attention to every word you said, and you specifically asked us.
Wapple, that was the cold talking. That wasn't me. That was the cold talking. I'd love to hear about your buddies.
It's a bitter cold. It makes you a bitter man.
It does.
Yeah. Well, they got cut off, and then so they had to leave the bar. So I was like, well, I'm not going to stay here by myself.
So then you left.
Yeah.
I did get cut off once.
That's called solidarity, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good friend right there, Wapple.
You did get cut off once
I
at a
forgot
bar?
it. Yes, I did. I got cut off. I'm embarrassed by it. It was stupid. I've told this before, but we were at when Grandma's used to be downtown here, or on campus.
Sure,
Grandma's
bar, saloon, University of Minnesota, absolutely.
I broke a glass and got some laughs, and I decided, well, I'm the glass breaking guy now.
Right.
I'm going to break more glasses, and I did until I got picked up by a guy about 10 times my size, a bouncer, and he threw me down those dangerous stairs, and that was it.
Thrown out, cut off. I guess it's all the same.
And the next day I felt like such an a-hole. I couldn't believe it.
Did you go back and apologize or anything?
No, my mom wanted to drag me back by my ear. But at that point I was in my early 20s. I think I was 21.
It's better to just not show your face there again.
I never went back.
Yeah, I've had to cut people off quite a bit.
So you've never been cut off, Ashley, Wapple, Dana?
I've been cut off, yeah.
You have?
Mm-hmm. It was especially embarrassing because it was at kind of like a famous fancy restaurant. It was at the Columbus, Ohio Applebee's.
Oh, boy.
I know.
The Columbus, Ohio, specifically Applebee's.
Yes,
Can't get cut off there.
I know. And that's the other thing, too, Josh. Like, I can't bear to go back there and show my face again to the Columbus, Ohio Applebee's.
Did you do anything like really offensive towards them, or?
No, we had just shown up. We had been drinking all day. We had gone to a sporting event. We were just wildly.
You had gone to a what?
A sporting event. We went
Sporting
to
event.
Yeah, we were at a soccer match, been tailgating all day.
No wonder at first you called it a sporting
exactly.
event.
I didn't want to derail the story too much. I know how things operate around here. We showed up, and we had no business even being in public at this point. And I go up to the bartender, and I'm like, I need 5 shots of Fireball. And the guy just keeps, like, washing the dishes, kind of stacking the cups, not paying attention to me. I go, hey, I said I need 5 shots of Fireball. And the guy looks at me and goes, hey, pal, I heard you. You're not getting anything to drink. I go, all right, we'll just go then. And, he asked us to leave.
Those
Ashley,
places... Sorry, what?
Fireball. I'm not familiar with Fireball. Can you explain that? What is Fireball?
Fireball's bitch whiskey, Josh.
That's right.
All 5 bitch whiskeys.
Those places don't mess around. The more family oriented places. I haven't been cut off, but I did have somebody. I was at an Applebee's once, and they're like, yeah, we don't really like to serve more than 4 drinks for one person if they're in this amount of time. And I thought, oh darn, I get it. And at the time, I was really into drinking, so it didn't do anything to me. But then I forgot my flannel there, and so I felt like he probably thinks I lied, and I was actually buzzed up because I forgot something there, and I just never went back and got my flannel. I was too self-conscious.
It's interesting you mentioned the four drink thing, because Mustaine is God, Jesus, and I agree with that, by the way. He said he and his wife got cut off at an Applebee's after 4 beers, and they were confused. So that's the magic number, huh?
Yeah, he said because it's a family establishment.
I've been to a couple joints over the years similar to an Applebee's where they even had a policy where no one could order a beer until you were completely done with the one in front of you. And at first, we all thought it was a joke. It was 6, 8 of us hanging out. And at first, I thought the bartender was joking when I said, yeah, I'll take another one. And he said, well, you're not done with that one. And I said, well, I'll catch up. And he said, no, the policy is that I cannot. I had never heard that. That was 25 years ago. Some of these more family-oriented places, they don't want you to get hammered and be, taking a piss in the corner. I get I get that bit.
I had that happen before where I went to buy a round for our table, and they wouldn't let me take more than one. They said you have to have a server come over and do it.
As far as being smooth, straight up, all-American cut off at a bar, or anywhere else for that matter, because one time I was cut off, and you've heard the story a million times, that was on an airplane. Other than that, I'd been cut off 2 other times that I can think of at a saloon. One time, I really didn't think that I deserved it. The other, thinking back, I absolutely deserved it. The reason I bring it up, if any of you have a good story getting cut off at your neighborhood or otherwise roadhouse, feel free. The text machine's always wide open, 651-989-9393. A bar in North Carolina has made a name for itself. This information popped up on that godless social media. In order to cut off a customer, they've got a cute gimmick where they quietly hand that customer something that appears to be like a business card. As opposed to hollering at the customer or even communicating to them, at an even keel, they simply quietly hand the customer a business card, and it says in big bold letters, "You have been cut off." There is some smaller print here that says, "Please leave quietly and no one will know. It has been a pleasure to serve you, but it's time for you to leave for the night."
That is a polite way to get cut off. Now, you might be too drunk to read that and have to show it around.
Yeah,
I can't read this.
If you're an older person, you got to get out your cheaters.
A lot of people are probably thinking that you're giving them a free drink card or something. Or I could see it because, like I said earlier, I've had to cut quite a few people off in my lifetime, and I could see a drunk person just ripping it up and throwing it in my face.
Well, of course, at first you would probably think it was a joke because this is a brand new gimmick. I don't know of any other bars that do this. So you're right about there might be all kinds of reactions, but at first I think that a drinker would think this was a joke. But it's very clever. It's very clever and original. I give them a lot of credit, I
think so, too. I think they're being as polite as possible, respectful. Big Rick Jesus said they got cut off at 10:30 a.m. the day after his bachelor party.
You
That's
can't
gotta
bust up.
That's got to be close to a record, right?
That's got to be a badge of honor right there.
All of us probably have deserved it many times.
Yeah.
But the bar or the bartender or the manager, whoever's running things, gave us a break or two. I mean, bartenders are good people, and I would never want their gig. I've established that many times on the program. There's probably been quite a few times we all deserved it, but we luckily were dealing with a really cool bartender who allowed us to let her buck despite our behavior. I remember once at a wedding reception, my buddy Hot Tub showed up drunk. Showed up real drunk. This is 6 p.m. He didn't go to the, the ceremony. He came to the reception, and this was a good friend of all of ours, mine, Hot Tub's, everybody, so it wasn't, everybody knew each other. But Hot Tub shows up way too drunk. And, of course, he goes straight for the bar, and once he had a few more beers in him, now it got to the point where it was getting sloppy and ridiculous. But I give this bartender a hell of a lot of credit. She could have said, "Get the hell out of here, you're causing a ruckus." But instead, she pulled a few of us aside and said, "Look, I don't want to 86 somebody. I don't want to cut somebody off at a wedding reception. This is supposed to be a fun experience." So she says, "What do you think about this? When your buddy," and she was referencing Hot Tub, she said, "when he comes up for a beer, do you think this will work? I'll just serve him NA beer. He appears to be drunk enough to where he won't know the difference." And we said, "That's friggin' brilliant." So we had that agreement with that bartender. And Hot Tub never noticed a damn thing. We all knew he would never notice a thing. So again, a tip to the hat to bartenders for being such patient people.
High Hopes McGee Jesus said he's got an ex-friend who's been cut off at every bar in a particular southern Minnesota town so many times he's banned from all 6 of them. For life.
Oh my gosh.
For life.
Hey, Ashley.
Yep.
How many? Are people ever like, "Oh, I understand, and thank you, you're right, I should stop drinking," or are they usually hostile?
They're usually always hostile.
I was hostile.
Yeah, it's really annoying. It's like, sorry that I don't want you to die, kill anybody else. Like, my bad.
Yeah, it's at that point when someone's that drunk to where a server or a bartender has to cut them off. At that point, they have the same mental state as a petulant child. You know what I mean?
Yep. Mm-hmm. I've definitely done the trick that wedding bartender has done, though. It's really easy with mixed drinks because when people are very far gone, they have no idea if they're even tasting the booze anymore. So I've pretended to pour booze in plenty of times, keeping my thumb over it.
I would think it would be more difficult with hard liquor.
They're way too gone to even try to taste it.
Yeah,
whatever you got to do.
There's been a few mixed drinks. I don't really drink, much at all, but certainly mixed drinks. But there's been a few where I could have gotten some serious trouble because you could barely taste it. Hey, yo, fella Jeebus says that he bets the cutoff card is like a badge of honor for some people at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I would think so.
Yeah, carry
Everyone
that around
in the
with
town
you?
wants one.
Yeah, why not? You'd keep that in your shirt pocket and show it off to your bros if that ever happened. Here are some other messages coming in about what we talked about. Certain establishments are a little more tightly wrapped when it comes to serving drinks. They don't want, because it's a family atmosphere or whatever reason, they don't want you getting mental. So
when there's so much liability now as well.
Sure, I don't even consider those kinds of things, but you're absolutely right. Different joints have different approaches. So what does this say now? Someone texted in to say, and I've heard so many stories about what it's like in the state of Utah.
Oh my gosh, it is crazy there.
What it's like to have, what it's like to I'll get there. What you have to go through in order to get drunk in public in Utah. That's what I was trying to say. And here's a guy who said there's joints in Utah where you have to order food along with a drink. It's a stipulation. It's a rule.
Yeah, I thought
It's almost every single place, and then unless
that's the rule in every single place.
That's what I heard. Yeah, it's everywhere.
All right.
When I went there last summer, they make you. There could be like one person in the bar. It's 11 o'clock in the morning, and you walk in. They're like, wait, right there, and they come to the front. You have to show them your ID to even get in, if it's considered more of a bar scene.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got to order chips and salsa or something.
You have
just
to have
for one
food
drink.
with your drink.
And I was so afraid to ask after I hit 3 drinks. I got so scared to be like, can I have a 4th one? I'm not driving. I promise, I'm not driving.
Yeah, they make it difficult, but they're a straight-laced bunch out there, from what we understand.
Now we're saying 10:30 a.m., getting cut off at 10:30 a.m. That's impressive. Mm-hmm. This person says they stayed at a hotel in Bloomington New Year's Eve, and some friends came up for the Vikings-Bears game, and his buddy got cut off at the hotel bar at 8:30 a.m.
That's impressive.
Sometimes if you push it hard enough the night before,
Yep.
and then you fire it right back up when you come out the sack. An hour and a half, 2 hours sleep doesn't wipe away 36 beers. I mean, you're right back on board and acting like a jackass all over again.
Yeah, one drink and you're already buzzed up.
Foundry Rat Jesus, the trick you mentioned, Ashley, he used to do that for his dad. They'd be working in the garage and be out until 2 a.m. building hot rods. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
And he'd cut them off by adding extra water into drinks and pouring half shots on top. So he got the taste, but he wasn't drinking as much.
I've done that to my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, or I sneak sips of her drink. Because she's a very fun drunk, but she's one of those people that it takes her 2 drinks and she's just everywhere.
I remember thinking my mom was partying because she'd have half a Bartles and James at a barbecue or something like that.
Your mother never got too wild with the hooch?
Oh, my mom almost never drank. My dad would have a little something pretty much every day, but my mom was maybe, honestly, half a Bartles and James, 1 barbecue a year, if even that.
Here's a guy in our listening audience who got cut off at Hooters. That's heartbreaking.
Yeah, that's sad.
Heartbreaking to be told to leave Hooters.
Every moment at Hooters should be cherished.
Such a beautiful girl telling you to leave. That hurts.
Yeah. Get used to it, boys.
Oh, I thought she was into me until she
Beautiful.
just told me to get out of here.
Well, that's kind of interesting. So they'll hand you a little business card instead of hollering at you. In a bar, that's how the conversation got started. There's a bar in North Carolina that'll hand you a little business card. They're called the Mountaineer Tavern. So if you're ever in that neighborhood, stop by. Maybe they'll hand you one of these just as a souvenir.
Yeah, that's cute.
What else is going on around here, Cubby?
Well, you cover what we got going on in sports. That'll be pretty fun. Hey, I'm very interested in talking to DePaola today with the change of plans
Oh, yeah.
for the game Monday night.
Yeah, instead of going to Los Angeles, now they're going to Arizona.
Yeah, and I know he's got a little bit different schedule, Friday morning schedule, and I don't know if that has anything to do with the change of venue or just because it's a Monday night game. So I'm sure he'll have some interesting things to say, kind of what the team's talking about. And
Old Depot, huh?
yeah, what they're planning on.
We've handed him another Pro Bowl.
It is awesome how much support he gets for that. 93X listeners definitely responsible for that. That's great.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Too bad he's not going to make it there. He'll be playing in the Super Bowl, right, Nick?
Let's hope.
Well, that's my prediction. Thank you, Ashley, for reminding everyone of my prediction from a week ago or whenever the hell it was. I don't remember. Yeah, he's not going to end up playing cornhole with the rest of the boys at the Pro Bowl in Vegas. Yeah, he'll be playing in the Super Bowl.
I mentioned my sister, so she lives out in Los Angeles, and she's been kind of keeping us up to date on what's going on. And she did leave yesterday. So she's with a friend who also lives in California, further away from where the fires are. So she wasn't officially evacuated, but it was getting bad enough that they expect that to probably happen today.
They expect her house to be burned to the ground
Well,
today?
they expect it to be close enough where it's a real possibility.
So she left town,
Yeah, so she's
living somewhere else for a while.
Yeah, she's going to stay there, and if it gets bad there, then probably come back here.
What a nightmare.
I've got pair of friends who they're not in the evacuation zone like your sister, Josh, but they're close to the point where they can't go outside. And, oh, by the way, they gave birth to their first child about a week and a half ago.
Oh, that's terrifying.
So they're stuck inside. They're huddled up in one room with an air purifier, a brand new baby, new parents, and just absolute nightmare.
Do you think if they get evacuated, they'll take the kid, or what's the plan?
That, I don't know how attached they are at this point. Like I said, it's a week and a half, so...
Yeah, you just leave the kid.
Yeah, you don't love the kid at that point.
No.
It's more of a burden.
Still just kind of a blob.
Imagine all those diapers you have to carry along.
We can fit the Xbox or the infant.
Definitely Xbox.
Which one are we putting in the back of the Winnebago?
Oh, I found a little extra room. Okay, then get the Xbox and the PS5 then.
Yeah.
My wife asked me the other night when we were watching this footage of the firestorm there in California. She said something like, if we had 5 minutes to get out the house, what would we bring? And at first I had a couple jokes with her, I think I said, well, we're taking 2 cars out of here. You go your way, I'll go mine. But I thought, wow, I don't know. Couple pairs of clean underwears. Well, grab the friggin' pets.
Yeah.
I don't know. A bag of chips. And 5 minutes to get out the house. I don't know. That's, I don't know how I would perform in that situation.
Now, we joke about it at home, but I truly believe this is accurate. If there was ever a fire in our house, my wife would save the kids, the dogs, some of her workout equipment, and then maybe she'd text me later on to see if I realized there was a fire in the house.
That is absolute nonsense. She worships the ground that you walk on.
I would definitely go kids, dogs, then me if I'm lucky.
Yeah, without doubt, I've told my boyfriend straight up, if there's ever an emergency, like you're smart enough where you can get out. But I got to grab the pets. Pets first. Pets come before you. They're dumb. They're going to be scared. You've got legs. You can figure it out.
You'd be a terrible rescuer.
You got to get the animals out. Yeah, I'd feel terrible if I had to leave the...
Oh, yeah, all of the stuff about the fires in California are awful, but seeing the videos of, horses or the wild animals freaking out, that's heartbreaking, too.
I keep my hockey bag, big, giant hockey bag. I haven't played in over 10 years now, but I still keep my big, fat, disgusting old hockey bag around the house. That's where I'll put all the beer.
Good call.
There you go.
You'd really take beer?
Oh, you got to bring beer,
Would you really?
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. I never would consider something like that.
That's actually a good idea.
We end up at a Radisson or something, and the bar's closed. That would be a nightmare. So, yeah, you bring a hockey bag full of beer, a few things. Yeah.
You could probably trade that beer for some valuable things, too,
Sex,
later.
maybe. Trade it for sex.
Oh, yeah. Beer and sex have been related before. They've interchanged.
Yeah.
They have met.
Hockey
before.
bag full of Steve Weisers on one shoulder, the Keedy and the puppy on the other shoulder. Run like hell.
Yeah, I don't know. There's really not too much that I'd be too freaked out. We don't have a ton of actual stuff. My computer, I'd take that.
You hate
my
that
guitar.
computer.
Well, if there was...
Oh, no, your work computer. You hate that one.
Yeah, I don't like my work. Now I've got... I'm bringing my home computer to work because everything's so locked up here. It's insane. So now it's actually a better setup.
You'd grab your computer, you think, on the way out?
Yeah, guitar.
Guitars, guitars.
So things you own. I don't know if there's anything else really.
You guys don't have a lockbox with all your personal documents in it?
I know, I was thinking that too.
Personal
Social Security card, birth certificate.
Yeah, I've got a...
Yeah, but it's fireproof. And not my problem. Oh, wait, it is my problem.
Oh, no, you'd have to even ask my wife about that. I don't know the first thing about that.
I have a birth certificate and a Social Security card. And then for the whole family. But that's the only documents we really have.
Personal documents, yeah. Maybe I should wake up here because I don't even know what you're talking about.
Get your tax forms.
Tax forms?
I've never paid taxes in my life.
Well, God...
Oh, no, Josh, don't say that.
Yeah, don't even joke about that, Josh. You've told us about the one time you did get audited, and I still feel stressed for you.
I was the subject of a random audit. I recommend don't ever go through that. Man, that sucked big time. Big time.
You were a mess.
I didn't even do anything wrong.
You looked overweight.
Oh, it was the opposite.
At the time, you were tired. You were overweight. You smelled bad.
I got down to about 134 pounds.
You couldn't shower.
Gosh.
You couldn't shave. When you were being audited, you were one miserable-looking sumbitch.
Yeah, that was not any fun.
And God willing, none of us ever find ourselves in the situation where we got 5 minutes to get out the house because the sumbitch is burning down. So, How are things? I mean, okay, is anything improving in California as far as that goes? That fire?
Well,
anything? Are there any positive news?
I did see those type of planes. I'm blanking on what they're called. That drop water on fires.
Whatever.
They're finally able to get up in the sky because the wind has died down enough in some areas. So that's a positive.
Unfortunately, the death toll has risen. I mean, they expected that too, just because they couldn't get to areas to look for people. They figured there were probably more casualties. There's more fires being started. Unfortunately, they think some of them are arson. They've already arrested one person.
Ugh.
And then,
So
there's looters. There's people out there looting, taking advantage of this.
Oh, of course. But you're telling me that there are arsonists who are trying to add on to the problem.
There's at least one, and they suspect possibly more.
I mean, what in the living hell is wrong with you? The looting, not a surprise to anybody, I'm sure, because jack wagons will always take advantage. They're just waiting for that moment. Oh, one more thing. Back to me and the wife watching fire on television a couple nights ago. I didn't think about this. She's a well-traveled person. She knows all these damn things. She said, here's the real, well, not the real bitch, because obviously the real bitch is happening right now. Fire sweeping across the entire state of California. But she said another side note is this. Once all that vegetation is burned down to the screws, then it'll likely rain like hell, and then it's going to be mudslides for a month and a half.
Oh, have you ever seen what that looks like
No,
in
I
some
have
of
not.
those huge fires?
Gosh,
No.
yes.
No, what?
It's like she said, it's just a mush. It's disgusting.
What a disaster. All right.
Gamer Jesus said he keeps a bug-out bag in his trunk at all times. I've never done anything like that. I'm so unprepared.
A bug-out bag.
With 3 days' worth of clothes, miscellaneous tools, so if anything happens, he can just...
So does that mean he's a, what's the term?
In the military?
Survivalist?
Yeah,
Or
survivalist.
Yeah.
I've seen, with all of this going on, I've seen that a lot of people that I would have no idea that they were that kind of person have a go bag like that. And I feel like I should have one now. Everybody's got a go bag.
I
You
don't
have
know.
one?
No, I
Dana,
don't.
Dana started reading this book that I've mentioned before, 1 Second After, and it's excellent.
It is very good.
It's really good. It scared the hell out of me. It's the first time I ever thought I'm going to build a bunker or I'm going to learn how to use firearms and all that kind of stuff. All right, have you started to get that way?
I have actually kind of looked around the basement thinking, like, where we could start storing stuff. Like, oh, we have that empty shelf over there. We could get a lot of canned goods up on that thing. I have kind of had that thought in the back of my head after reading this book.
So you had a similar feeling
Yes.
I did? Where I thought, whoa, that could happen pretty easily according to this,
Right.
fictional book.
So woefully unprepared.
Yeah.
Especially because you know how technology reliant I am in my life. I can't do anything without Wi-Fi or, a TV nearby or internet.
I feel useless enough in modern society. I can't imagine if we regressed to where we had to kill our own food and do all that kind of... I would be absolutely worthless.
No.
I would just have to give myself up as some sort of sex slave.
No,
You
you
can
got
come hang
that
out with me.
guitar.
But I suck. I'm not any good at it.
Josh is the guy around the campfire
Yeah.
annoying everybody every night. All right, somebody just kill the guitar guy already.
Josh, just play us a sad song, please.
He's the first guy we eat.
Oh,
Once we run out of
100%,
food.
dude.
I've seen Road Warrior, Josh. You'd be that cute little slave on a leash.
I know. I definitely would.
And that's okay. I mean, you got to do what you got to do to survive. But that's an interesting story about the listener who has a bug-out bag, he calls it, in the trunk with 3 days' worth. Similarly, my buddy Dougie keeps official divorce papers in his glove compartment.
Just in case he ever wants to hand them out.
Yep. And so he can sign them and put them in his, put them right back in the glove compartment and drive away. He keeps divorce papers in his glove compartment. Now, that's a guy who's prepared.
I have a buddy who's so burned out at work that he carries around a resignation letter. And he's just waiting for that one spark. And this has been almost a year now, where he's like, just give me one reason to get out of here that's good enough to hand this in.
What?
Hilarious.
I love that guy.
We got a boogie. We got to get going again so we can stay somewheres near schedule here. But thanks for joining us Friday morning. Going to be some laughs. Like I said, Andrew DePaola, Purple Pick'em coming up later. We'll have stupid news around the corner here on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Dana here for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. We all know January is one of the coldest months of the year, and not that cheery, fun kind of Christmas cold. Nah, just the dark, dank January cold. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is well aware of this, and that's why they're offering $40 off a furnace tune-up to keep you warm during the Minnesota cold. The last thing you want is to be huddled around an iffy space heater you bought from some shady targeted ad. Oh, and how about this? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning has now been helping Minnesotans for over 95 years. So book your appointment now at standardheating.com. That's standardheating.com.
Hi, I'm Joe Saul-Sehy, host of the Stacking Benjamins podcast. Every week, we talk to experts about saving, investing, and personal finance trends. Oh, crypto. Can't do it.
You could have done all that research, all the breadcrumbs, and thought this company's never going bankrupt.
Foiled again. You never knew personal finance could be this fun. Throwing down the gauntlet.
I'm bringing it today. I'm only going to be off by 6 figures instead of 7.
Every boy has a dream, Doc. Every boy has a dream.
For sure.
Stacking Benjamins. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Before we launch ourselves towards our final stupid news report of the week, we had a fun conversation earlier about getting cut off at your neighborhood bar. Cut that off! What movie? 651-989-9393. Start your message with Nick. Getting cut off at the neighborhood bar, or anywhere else for that matter. I got thrown out a couple, 3 times.
Anybody ever been cut off, like at a family or friend gathering, or not an official establishment?
That would be worse, I think.
No, I've never been at a house party where they said I was done drinking.
Yeah, like your most heavily drunk buddy's like, dude, you got to chill out, man.
That would be something.
Wouldn't that be something?
Got an interesting text from a listener on the topic of getting cut off. He said, where I grew up, there's a bar in town that cuts pregnant women off after 3.
That's good.
Hey, wait a minute, though. I'm drinking for 2. I can't handle more than 3 beers.
He said there's a note written in Sharpie. There's a note. That doesn't make sense. There's a sign on the wall in the bar written in Sharpie that says, pregnant women after 3, you're done. And many of you are correct. Caddyshack. Remember that scene, Josh, where Rodney Dangerfield's out on the golf course and he hits the music. He's got a boombox inside of his golf bag, and it's Any Way You Want It by Journey. And you don't remember the scene?
I do.
Oh, okay.
I was just watching you're acting it out.
And then Ted Knight, cut that off.
I love Ted Knight, and I miss Rodney Dangerfield.
Both of them, brilliant. Especially Ted Knight, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, just, his style. I mean, both of them have such a unique style.
Brilliant.
I'm watching a series. You mentioned Journey. I'm watching this series, and there was like this mariachi band at a wedding reception, and they're playing this tune, and I'm like, my God, I know that song. Why can't I place it? And it was Journey, Faithfully. But the way they sang it, it was so close.
Yeah. Did I get the right song that he cranks up there on the golf course? What is that song?
Sounded right to me.
Any way you want it, any time you need it, whatever. Anyway.
Security Jesus was at a party and got cut off. A lot of whiskey. And then they sent him to his parents' house. He got sent home.
That sucks.
Grown person sent home from a beer party. All right, I think we can go somewhere with this. I do. We're still putting a lid on 20 plus 24. There's still a few things we have to handle. Those goofy Canadians offered something up here. The cops in Saskatchewan, Canada, dumped a report on us, strictly for laughs. They call it the top 10 reasons not to call 911. And all this is based on actual incidents from last year. The Canucks, polite sumbitches that they are, they said that these telephone calls, quote, missed the mark, is how they put it. So here's the deal. Here's a list of different stupid reasons someone up there called Canadian 911. Those dispatchers had to deal with the following numbskulls. A 911 dispatcher received a call from an individual reporting that their tambourine had been taken from a party.
Heartbreaking.
That was done intentionally.
Yeah, the suspect list could be quite large. Everyone at the party. A tambourine. I've never owned a tambourine. I'd imagine if I was ever in a band, they'd probably give me a tambourine that didn't quite function.
They would give you whatever you wanted, and you know it.
Oh, I don't know.
A tambourine was stolen from a party. And the dude called 911. Yeah, you're right. The list of suspects is endless. Because it was bad enough that some hippie brought an acoustic guitar. But Dinkus hauled out a tambourine so they could play some old hits from the Mamas and the Papas or something like that. Someone had to do something.
I mean, that's what I wanted to do, was be a guitar player growing up. That was my dream. And even I would get annoyed at the guy at the party who would bring out the guitar.
Yeah.
Is there anybody ever thought, wow, that's really cool? Oh, Stairway to Heaven, original.
Nope, nobody's...
More than words, that's great.
Nobody's ever asked for that.
No.
And it's created some miserable situations. Credit to whoever snatched this tambourine and hit it on the hippie who was ruining this keg party. But obviously not a good reason to call 911. One of the slickest moves my old man ever made in his lifetime was at a wedding reception. By damn, I think we were in walk-on or possibly aisle. I can't quite recall. We were right there on the Lake Mille Lacs, at a wedding reception up that way. And great people who got married, but they just had a little bit of a questionable idea. For their wedding reception, they had a karaoke machine instead of a band or a DJ. And they just turned the mic on and set it on a table. And anybody at the reception could grab the mic, go over to the karaoke machine, select a song, and sing. There was no karaoke operator. It was just a lawless, Wild West karaoke situation. Live mic on a table, anyone can sing at any time. So, it was awful. It was awful.
That sounds terrible.
I like bad karaoke. I do. But after an hour and a half, it was miserable. And I'm there with my family. My dad was just inconsolable on the topic. He even hated good karaoke, let alone Mille Lacs Lake drunks hollering old Oak Ridge Boys songs into them. It was just terrible. So my old man he and I were sitting at a table together, and there was that live mic. We were about an hour and a half into this misery. And he goes, "Hey, pass me that microphone." And I thought, oh, you going to go up there and sing an old song by Charlie Rich or something? He goes, "Just pass me the microphone." I passed it to him. He turned it off. He put it inside his jacket pocket, and that was the end of the karaoke.
Good for him.
And for the next hour, people are, even like the bartender was saying, "Does anyone know where the microphone is?" The people who got married. "Where's the microphone? There are people who want to sing." My dad sat there quietly for the rest of the evening.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, hero of the day.
Yep.
Elementary music teacher, she just said, just try partying with a bunch of music majors. Ugh.
Oh, no, that sounds terrible.
Boy. So everyone's got an instrument, and they all want to shine in that particular moment. Yeah, that does sound terrible. Okay, back to this stupid reasons people called Canadian 911. A person called 911 asking for help on a math equation because they did not want to fail their test the next morning.
I bet they did.
That must have been a young kid. Arithmetic always threw me, but I never thought to contact emergency services for that reason. Dispatchers got a call from someone, oh God, Josh, having trouble with their washing machine.
Oh, that's terrible. That's an emergency right there. Don't they have a show that's like Outfit 911 or something like that?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, really?
I can't remember what it's called. Yeah.
You need fashion help, like, immediately?
Maybe that's it, Fashion 911 or something.
Having trouble with their washing machine. A caller complained that their, quote, that's not the way I should take this. A caller complained that their cat was, quote, being mean to them. And they were apparently hoping a Canadian cop would swing on by and help with that situation. Cat is being mean.
We got a text from someone who says they used to work for the PD, and they had a call once about a guy who was upset because he couldn't get his new phone to work. So he decided to call 911 from some working phone somewhere. I don't think it's to protect, serve, and tech support.
Yeah. A person called Canadian 911 to report that somebody had thrown their ice cream on the ground.
Oh, I would hate that.
I mean, that's like the closest to being maybe a reason to get somebody in. It's littering. I don't know. It's still ticky-tacky and quite stupid.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here you go, Josh. Someone called 911 in Canada to ask for help in unlocking their cell phone. 911 dispatchers got a call from someone saying they had problems in their house. And that problem was bees. I always hated it when bees got in the house. I had a real problem when I lived in Hamel.
Did you really?
Oh.
I've never had that happen.
Yeah, I think I've told you about this before. It was, I don't know the difference between a wasp and a hornet, but it wasn't just your average little friendly bee. These were wasps or hornets. I don't remember. God help us, there they are. They're back. I don't remember which it was. It was one of those two angry breeds, wasp or hornet. They completely infested one of the walls of my townhome. They had made their way in from the out of doors, and they just had this wall-sized nest that completely encompassed, and I could hear them.
Nope.
And if you put your hand on the wall, you could feel them. And every time I went out on my deck, get a little sun. I used to lay out back then.
I didn't know you ever laid out.
I never did lay out. But every time I went out on my deck to have a beer or a barbecue, I would just be karate fighting these deadly hornets the entire time. I hate those bastards. You guys... Oh, my... I wish I would have landed one of those. Bees everywhere! Killing them was fun, though. I had a little game I'd play every day. I'd kill them. Anyway, I hated bees. I still do. A caller went ahead and called Canadian 911 and complained that a fox was roaming around the neighborhood scaring a local cat.
He was going to kill that thing.
This must have been a young kid, obviously, called to complain that their parents were forcing them to clean their room. That could have been my brother in 1979.
Yeah, you mentioned before, he did not like to clean that room.
He thought it was the most offensive thing in the world that his parents would ask him to clean his room. Our room, actually. We shared a room with it. He just could not believe he was being asked such a thing. Someone called Canadian 911 because they were worried. They were worried that they didn't recognize someone on their social media friend list.
Oh, no. This is some grandma.
I know
look into this guy.
I know this guy and this gal, but who the hell is that? Is that Donnie's cousin? I'm not sure I know that person.
I don't know how to block them.
That is so cute.
So we were talking about getting cut off, whether at an official establishment or maybe just at a house party of some sort. Autoglass Jesus said his mom told him to leave his brother's wedding reception for, quote, being too drunk when I had 2 Captain Cokes. And he said she's the most conservative woman you'll ever meet. That reminds me of my sister-in-law's wedding. They had to kick out a aunt of theirs because she's the drunk. That was the drunkest I've ever seen any person ever.
Wow, that's something to say from a guy who spent 30 years in radio.
She was. I mean, they had to basically carry her out like an old carpet. She couldn't move.
Oh, no.
Put her over the shoulder. And
that was that.
So she was thrown out of, so what was the relation?
An aunt. She was an aunt.
An aunt was thrown out of, oh, that's embarrassing.
I didn't know she liked to party like that, but I guess she kind of had a reputation. The fun aunt.
Oh, yeah, she was fun. This sounds like it could be a problem. And it all sounds familiar to me. Maybe we've covered this in the past. Maybe you've been diagnosed already, some of you. It's apparently a real damn thing. Do any of you have something called phone call phobia?
No, but my wife, I think, does.
Yeah.
She will do anything not to be on the phone.
To avoid answering a call or making a call?
Making a call, especially.
Nerve-wracking for her.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. She's so... It's not just like, I'm busy, phone call. It's nothing like that. Because, people are... I understand that, right? You don't have time for a phone call.
Sure.
It's just she does not like to make a phone call.
It's uncomfortable for her.
Yeah.
Okay.
It depends who it is for me.
Phone call
my mom
phobia.
calls, I don't mind, but If I have to
I also don't mind when your mom calls.
If I have to make a call,
Especially house calls. He likes it when your mom makes house calls.
or delivery, like if I have to order some food over the phone, I hate doing that.
Why do you hate it
That's
so
one
much?
of them for my wife. Yeah, she won't do that.
I don't know why. I've just always, it stresses me out for some reason.
Okay, well then you maybe have phone call phobia. It says here,
there's people, so I don't know, like, there's certain people I know that don't like being on the phone so much where they will be annoyed if you call. Like, if you call, it better be an emergency.
Oh, for sure.
So I don't know. I don't know that that's necessarily a phobia, you know.
Maybe that's just more people short of time and annoyed, that kind of, like you said earlier about your wife.
There's better ways to communicate. Yeah, with my wife, it is definitely a phobia.
You're so used to texting people up and down that when a real live telephone conversation comes into play, you get too damn nervous to go through with it. Phone call phobia. A school in irritating as hell England. A school by the name of Nottingham College is offering classes on how to make a telephone call. Jesus, what have we become?
You know, it's funny because I'm sure you remember this too, Nick. When you were a kid, you were just hoping that phone would ring. You couldn't wait to be on the phone.
Are you kidding me? You absolutely hit the nail on the damn head. When I was a kid, most nights I would sit and pray that the telephone would ring at my house because of how much I enjoyed talking to a pal or a foxy lady.
And there was nothing else really to do. I mean, now there's just so many different options. But, yeah, there's plenty of times where that phone rang. I lived in a commune, so
you were excited.
Likely it wasn't for me, but the times it was, I mean, it was like Christmas. I mean, my parents would have to yell at us to get off the phone.
Oh, yeah. My mom would just pick up the other phone. Be like, Ashley, you're done.
You're not kidding. It was like Christmas. Now, these days, younger people, a lot of them straight up fear a telephone call, where we used to fantasize about it. Dice has a great bit on the telephone. What album is this from? Maybe it's the album Face Down, Ass Up. I can't remember. He has a great bit on the telephone, and Josh, you can relate to this. He said back in the day that a telephone ring, a home telephone ring, would almost put the family in a state of shock because the ringer was just bing.
Yeah, so loud.
I mean, my God, he said nowadays a cell phone just does a little brrr. And I think back to those days when that phone rang. You could tell us this, Josh. Sometimes you could hear your neighbor 3 doors down. You could hear their telephone ringing if the windows were open on a summer night.
Mouse and Jesus said his wife has a huge phone call phobia. He once showed up at her place to pick her up for a date, called to let her know he was there, and she ghosted him because that call caused her so much anxiety.
Oh, that's very odd.
I will say that calls are so infrequent now, actual phone calls. There's only a couple of people that really call me, that if I get one from someone who doesn't, I think, oh, something's up.
Mm-hmm. Somebody's dead.
Just because it doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's not as obviously. Yeah, it's all text messages now. I mean, I guess I can tell you. Last night, I had just gotten done with all my responsibilities for today. I had just had something or another to eat. Finally, just sat my ass down in front of the television to watch a little bit of the Timberwolves. Right when I went, oh, God, as in, it's over. My night is over. My day of work is over. Telephone rang. And I made an ass out of myself in front of the wife because the phone was in my pocket and it rang and I went, it shouldn't have been that, but that's a different situation. I was just relaxed and I didn't want to hear from it. Let me tell you what you have to go through if you're taking this class at a college in England about how to make a phone call. The main focus in the class, phone etiquette and phone confidence. The homework for the class involves calling restaurants to ask what time they close instead of Googling it. They also have you go ahead and call real stores and ask if something is in stock.
I guess I get it, but why would you do that when you can just do it online?
Yeah,
it's more of a convenience thing.
To cure your phone phobia.
Oh, I guess.
Says here, to be fair, college in England is different. Some of the kids are only 16, but it's still amazing how uncomfortable they are with a live telephone call. And again, the term for this issue is called, well, the long term, telephobia.
You know, I was just thinking, got a text here from Grindcore Jesus, said he's going to call me in the middle of the show just to see if he's important enough to answer the phone for. Well, it's so people's behavior has changed so much. We don't take phone calls anymore.
Not much.
Because nobody calls.
Not much.
It's all text now.
Yep. It's straight up text-mania. One student taking the class said that live phone calls are hard because you have to talk off the cuff. Texting is easier, she said, because you can think about the right way to approach someone. My damn. Jeez.
Yeah, I don't think I have phone call phobia or whatever it's called, because I think I'm more just afraid to like order food. And that's why I don't like
You think
calling.
you have afraid to order foodie?
Yeah, like I've never enjoyed that. I've never enjoyed like ordering at restaurants, that kind of stuff. But like I made 4 phone calls yesterday. It doesn't bother me. I'd rather call somebody to get the conversation done.
So you're saying
quicker.
There's just something specific about ordering food.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I think like the person on the other side of the phone's judging me. Like, oh, you're going to get all of that?
What about like a Vietnamese soup? Do you have phobia?
Could you call like a customer support or something like that?
Yeah, I did that yesterday.
Customer support,
it was
how can I help you?
This is a little
exhausting.
A little to the side of this conversation, but a friend of mine gets frustrated because his mom will text him and say whatever she says, and then when he responds, she'll give him a call. Like she tricked him, saying, okay, I know you're by your phone.
No.
I know I can get you.
Yeah, so my mom got a new phone, and she
Does it send pictures?
Yeah, it does.
Sicko.
Once in a while, I'll just get a random call from her, and it'll be like she'll call 3 times. So then it's like, okay, something's up. And then I call her back, and she's like, oh, I'm still just trying to figure out my phone. But now that I got you here, what's going on?
So she's doing just what my buddy's mom does? Is that what you're saying?
I think it's more she doesn't know how to use her phone, and then once I call her back, then she'll talk to me.
She's like, oh, yay, now we can chat.
Yep. Someone to finally talk to.
There's a bunch of people that say they believe they have a little bit of a phone phobia.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think it's pretty widespread. I know some younger people who it just stresses them to no end to have to speak not only over the telephone live to someone, but face to face. They just don't do it anymore. I mean, I think I told you, Josh, a couple years ago, I was at a high school graduation party. I wasn't invited or anything. I just stopped by. No, I'm kidding. I was at a good friend of mine's child was graduating high school. And I didn't notice this, but my wife and a couple other people noticed that the young, recently out of high school kids standing in a circle, they just all looked very uncomfortable. Hey, man, how's it going? And they all spoke very mumbled, and it was very hard to understand. Again, I didn't notice this, but my wife and her friend did. And we came to the conclusion that they just did not do that very often. They did not stand in a circle and socialize very often. Sure, they might text back and forth. They might Facebook back and forth. But even their delivery was odd.
It's like shy. It's quiet.
So it's amazing the turn of events here with the telephones and this and that.
The delivery, that brings to mind something. And you guys have to tell me if I do.
Dana?
It's very rushed. That delivery is very rushed. His brain works faster than his mouth does. So, do you know anyone whose delivery is very different on the phone? The pitch of their voice specifically is what I'm thinking of.
Hello.
You are?
I would say so.
Okay, I guess I haven't noticed that. So I was wondering if you guys let me know if I am, and maybe I don't realize it. But
no,
my
I
wife,
can't think of anybody.
My wife with the not diagnosed, but she will admit she has a phone phobia. Her voice rises in pitch, I think, to say, hey, I'm in a good mood. You know, I'm talking to you, or I'm trying to be friendly.
All right. That's funny.
I don't want to divulge who this is, but my male sibling. So I don't want to give any indication as to who this could be. My one and only male sibling.
You're being very subtle about it.
Kind of tucks his chin in, and he's got I got a bit of a phone voice.
yeah?
Talks to people.
He tries to base it up a little bit?
Oh, yeah, he puts a little gravel in that thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to order a pizza here.
Have you called him out on that? And
All
said,
the time.
Why
All
are
the
you
time.
trying to have phone sex with me?
Are you auditioning for some sort of
That is so weird.
sordid telephone number or what's
Well,
happening?
I guess from now on, Josh, maybe I'll listen a little closer, but I've never noticed anybody who has a different delivery over the telephone than they do in person.
I've been told I sound like way nicer. I call it like a server voice. You just, I don't know, like I kind of talk more girly in a way.
Up at the crack of dawn, so I understand that. I think that's my wife too. Up at the crack of dawn, Jesus said, I don't have a phone phobia. I talk to people all day at work. I don't want to talk to people outside of work as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, I can see
I get that.
All right, before we get out of here, I want to try to give a few of you a week's worth of terrible nightmares. I do, before we go. I didn't want to miss out on this one. You got to go ahead and watch this here video. Smashley can check in and tell us in a minute if the video has made its way onto our website yet. They call it 93x.com. I don't know the rhyme or reason behind the video, why it was recorded, whether or not it was ever meant to see the light of day. All I can go ahead and tell you is that a German politician filmed himself licking public toilets.
This is up. And I
It's
didn't
up on
wanna watch it.
93x.com?
Yeah, and I had to watch it, to put it up there, and I'm mad that I had to watch this.
Yeah,
Well,
that person is a toilet licker, Ashley.
And it's not even licking, dude. He's like a full-on French kissing this thing.
Okay, the video has now cut itself loose all over godforsaken social media. Yeah, no one's going to be happy after watching this video. Like I said, I want to give folks a weekend full of nightmares. I mean, and this guy's not just,
No, he's not hesitant.
he's seductively, passionately, sexually licking public toilet. The guy looks to be very turned on by what he's doing. He's running his tongue up and down old public urinals and whatnot.
Now, disgusting act, certainly. But I'd like to know the top 2 toilets you would lick if given the opportunity, Nick.
You want to know from me the top 2 toilets that I would lick if given the opportunity? I would lick...
I have guesses.
Go ahead, you guess.
Okay, one, sadly, is deceased, Anna Nicole Smith's throne.
If you were able to pry a toilet away from her property...
It's like 3 bolts. I could do that. Go ahead.
I would lick Anna Nicole Smith's toilet?
Yeah.
Sure, I would. You have any other guesses?
Britney Spears.
Lickety-lick, lickety-lick.
Slurp it up. So that's the 2? Would you say that's the top 2?
Let's go with those 2.
Because I could probably come up with an honorary mention, like a Miley Cyrus.
I do like her.
Yeah.
I do.
For one former sales lady that used to work here, I could... That one. Would she be in the top 2? By the look on your face, I'm going to say I ranked her a little low.
You might have gone low on that one. Has Baby Spice gone potty anytime recently? That's
You know what? Ashley, practice your phone call and ask that soccer player she's... Oh, no, that's a different lady. Yeah, go ahead and call her and ask.
But that's about as much information as I can give you on this public toilet licking German politician. I have his name here. I don't know if I want to say it out loud because I don't know if he meant, you know what I mean? I mean, I know it's all the way over in Germany, but if this
he
guy...
might be he's obviously a little off, but maybe he's like some psychopath, controversial character. But.
Yeah, and also, let's say the dude smoked some crack rocks, right? He tried crack rocks for the first time. Next thing you know, he's licking a public toilet. He wakes up the next day. He has no memory of it. He feels awful. Maybe I don't want to add on to the problems. I don't know. At one point in the video, he can be heard saying that this was part of his punishment. He didn't really make a mustache out of human feces, did he?
I hope not.
I heard that. That's not true, is it?
No, but that has a name, right? The Dirty Sanchez?
Yep.
I believe that could be. So there isn't any other further information.
I forgot about Tara Reid.
Tara Reid, sure. I'll take her toilet.
I like that somebody called it the troll bowl.
They're always picking on her. So I don't know. I don't know if the dude ever, if he wanted this to go public, if he did not, I don't know. This one has me kind of at a loss for words, really. But I have heard a similar story.
Oh, yeah, you've told a similar story.
Yeah, there's a guy that...
Oh, my brother's on the phone.
Yeah, hey, Nick, if you wouldn't mind, can you share that story?
You're making some of the listeners crazy with that voice,
Yep.
Josh.
Oh, like they're angry with me?
No,
they
turned
love
on.
it.
I haven't
They are
talked to you.
getting turned on.
Hopefully, yeah, I love making people horny. That's great news.
I haven't talked to your brother in many years, but I don't remember him coming off like James Earl Jones.
He is on the phone. If you watch him, what you just did there to relieve some gas, he tucks his chin deep into his chest.
So-
I threw up brother. I'm not saying it's my brother. It's my one and only male sibling.
Male sibling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have heard a similar story. I knew a guy who ran a very popular joint here in the Twin Cities. Very popular. Everybody in town's heard of it. And they had to deal with a customer, a male customer, who would go into the men's rooms and lap out of the toilet. He'd drink out of the public toilets like a dog. He'd lick the bowl. This was just crazy person who would come to the bar. And they had to keep firing him out. You're gone. You can't do this. It's disgusting. Get out. This crazy individual went as far as to dress up as a woman in order to gain access, because, of course, they recognized this guy after throwing him out 8-10 times. One night, he showed up dressed as a woman in order to sneak in unrecognized and then go straight into the men's room and start licking the damn toilets.
It's like a dog.
What can you do? What the hell can you do?
The disguises,
It's
bro.
just, you can't prepare for everything.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Freddie Mitchell was on the morning show today, and he mentioned that you and John Ritchie were often in the sauna together. But Freddie Mitchell mentioned that, how do I put this, that you would groom your underregions in the sauna.
Now, my first thing is, you want to call me during primetime radio in Philadelphia.
Yes.
And talk to me about something like that? Are you kidding me?
He didn't like that so much. Some of you are old enough to remember Sean Landeta, longtime punter in the National Football League. Won a couple of Super Bowl rings with the New York Giants, if my memory serves me correct, and he also played some years in Philadelphia. So for whatever reason, Sean Landeta is on a Philadelphia radio show here the other day. Spike and Ike and Fritz, the Spike and Ike and Fritz show in Philadelphia. And they started busting his balls about some rumor. A former teammate, Freddie Mitchell, said that Sean Landeta would go into the sauna at the team facilities and groom his nuts and whatnot. Shave his balls, shave his ass and his pubes. And he didn't like them bringing that up.
Yeah, what's that, Ashley?
I wouldn't either.
He says
that ruins my next question.
He says it never happened. You want to call me during a primetime radio show and talk to me about something like that, he says. He denies it. Never happened.
That would suck if it never happened and you have to go out and say, no, I didn't shave my pubes in a sauna with other guys.
He closes out by saying, I would think with the Eagles having a playoff game coming up, you wouldn't be talking about guys in the sauna.
That would just be crazy if he was doing that. I don't even like when I'm at the gym, and I understand older people for some reason think the vibe is to be completely naked in the sauna, but the majority of anybody under the age of, probably 70, we keep some pants on and like a sports bra or something.
In a sauna?
Yeah, like if it's public and there's other people in there, Oh,
I thought you were just naked and had a towel over your gear. What are you doing wearing pants and a shirt in a sauna?
It's just because there's other people in there, and then when you sit down, like sometimes the towel doesn't, cover the bottom, so you're just like putting your
you sit on a towel.
Warm balls on the freaking bottom. It's
warm
gross.
balls.
Wait a minute, what's going on in the ladies' sauna?
Warm balls in the women's sauna?
By the way,
some
sauna,
places.
okay?
Oh, sorry.
Can we please?
Don't do that to me, Cubby.
Sorry, Josh.
Sauna?
When you go in a sauna, you sit on a towel, you put a towel over your gear. There are people wearing pants and shirts in a sauna?
Well, not like the whole get up, but usually like if it's, so with men, they usually will keep on like a pair of basketball shorts. For women, they'll keep on like the spandex or sports bra
That sounds
they were wearing.
incredibly uncomfortable.
I didn't realize you could be nude in a public sauna.
I don't know. And I will never enter one ever again, so I guess I don't know why I'm getting so spirited about it. Pretty entertaining college football game last night. Notre Dame won. These are all things that we'll talk in greater detail about when Dinkus and Dinkus show up. The Pigs got bounced at home. The Wolves won. One more note on the telephone. We were talking earlier about how different it is these days. Everybody texts. Everyone's got their own little personal cellular device. No one's got a home phone. Josh and I were talking about when we were kids, man, it was the most exciting thing in the world when the home telephone would ring because, by God, that might be for me. Nowadays, people have telephone phobia, phone phobia. They don't like to make a live phone call. We used to just pray that the phone would ring. Great text message here from Rompin' Stompin' Tiger Piss Jesus. He said, you remember back in the day, Josh, when the phone on the wall at home would ring, and it was just louder than all hell, of course, and someone in the house would yell, telephone, as if we didn't know what that noise was.
That's a good point.
It's true. Yeah, the old man would always go, hey, telephone. Yeah, we know.
Dad. Why don't you pick it up, Dad? Why does everybody else got to answer the phone?
Because I'm not mad at him for that. I was a kid. He was a grown man who worked for a living. He should sit there and not answer the telephone. It should be my job.
And remember this dude, like maybe Dad was yelling at you from the upstairs bedroom. Well, you just grabbed that super long coiled cord and you'd bring it right upstairs.
Yep.
Yeah. That cord was so long.
Oh, yeah.
Telephone, somebody would say, yeah, no kidding. All right, we got to get going. Josh's News is next.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Dana here for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. We all know January is one of the coldest months of the year, and not that cheery, fun kind of Christmas cold. Nah, just the dark, dank January cold. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is well aware of this, and that's why they're offering $40 off a furnace tune-up to keep you warm during the Minnesota cold. The last thing you want is to be huddled around an iffy space heater you bought from some shady targeted ad. Oh, and how about this? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning has now been helping Minnesotans for over 95 years. So book your appointment now at standardheating.com. That's standardheating.com.
Welcome to the jungle, clones. It's the Jim Rome Show podcast.
The greatest and loyal fan base ever. You, the clones. It all starts with the jungle. We're in it to win it, and I'm in it to go as hard as I possibly can every day to make sure that you clones get the best possible product every single day. Day one, all in, let's freaking go.
The Jim Rome Show. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
This tree caught on fire. Embers are flying all over the place onto the house.
At what point did you realize I'm not going to save the house?
When my son-in-law grabbed me like this and said, no, we got to go.
Wow.
And I was like, no, man. And I turned around and I said, man, I can't go, bro. 51 years, man, I've been in this house.
The army of firefighters battling massive Southern California wildfires includes workers who'd otherwise be occupied elsewhere behind bars. Trading handcuffs for hoses, nearly 400 incarcerated individuals have been deployed by the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, joining forces with the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection to help contain the flames.
Is that right?
Wow.
The inmate crews work side by side with nearly 2,000 professional firefighters tackling the infernos head on. Participation in the program is voluntarily but highly selective. Inmates must be in excellent physical and mental condition, have fewer than 8 years remaining on their sentences, and certain convictions such as rape, murder, arson, or other serious crimes, automatically disqualify them.
That would be insane if they took the arson people.
Well, they're really good at fire, I guess. And while the brave crews, both professional and incarcerated, face down the flames, the origins of at least one blaze, the Kenneth Fire, has sparked a different kind of heat, a criminal investigation. Los Angeles police are now saying the Kenneth Fire was intentionally set and citizens detained the suspect. Here's Senior Lead Officer Charles Dinsel talking about what happened.
The incident started here, and about 30 minutes later, a suspect was detained over in Woodland Hills by citizens. It's being investigated as a crime.
Meanwhile, Monday night's playoff game between the Vikings and Rams has been moved to Arizona officially due to the LA wildfires. Vikings coach Kevin O'Connell spoke to the media yesterday about the tragedy.
Just want to express, my and our organizational sadness for those affected by the devastating fires in Los Angeles. You feel helpless watching it from here and know how many people are being impacted.
As of yesterday afternoon, the fires had scorched more than 45 square miles in the LA area, forcing nearly 180,000 residents to evacuate and taking the lives of at least 10 people.
So at least one of those fires was intentionally set by a lunatic.
Yeah, and they're investigating others as well. Very sad.
What does that sumbitch do then? Just go home and whack off to the television news?
I'm sure. That's probably exactly it.
Gross.
Son of a bitch.
A 43-year-old Missouri woman will spend the next 12 years in prison after pleading guilty to setting a house fire using an unexpected and delicious accelerant, a bag of Takis chips. Patricia Williams initially pleaded not guilty to first-degree arson after a 2023 incident in Greene County. However, during a court appearance this week, she changed her plea to guilty, admitting to the bizarre and dangerous crime. The case unfolded August 11th of 2023 when a 911 call reported a fire at a Springfield home. Fire Marshal Travis Morrissey explained when authorities arrived, 3 people, one in a wheelchair, were already outside the smoke-filled residence. One of the victims quickly identified Williams as the arsonist. When officers found her, her face was covered in soot, and she was struggling to breathe due to smoke inhalation. She was taken to a hospital for treatment, where it was revealed she had multiple outstanding warrants. According to witnesses, Williams had poured gasoline from a soda bottle onto clothes and the floor in the laundry room. Then, in a highly unusual twist, she grabbed a bag of Takis, normally just known for setting mouths and beeholes ablaze, and used them as kindling, lighting the spicy snacks on fire before tossing the flaming bag onto the gasoline-soaked pile. To confirm the claim, Fire Marshal Morrissey conducted a test and found Takis, thanks to their grease content, do indeed support combustion. During questioning, Williams admitted to purchasing $2 worth of gasoline and was even caught on surveillance footage at the gas station. She explained she used the chips specifically because she knew their high grease content would help ignite that blaze.
She knew that, huh?
Fortunately, no one was injured in the fire, which earned Williams over a decade behind bars.
Takis, huh? That's the hot stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Never saw it.
Oh, I love those. They're so good.
Remember the Hot Cheetos and Takis song from about 12 years ago?
Oh, my gosh. I forgot about that. That was a banger.
Yeah.
I won't go that far, Ashley.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you know what I like to do with Takis and Hot Cheetos, Nick? You're going to love it. I like to dip them in sour cream. Yum.
Yeah, knock yourself out.
A sickening shoplifting spree in Florida has deputies on the lookout for a duo they've dubbed Mr. Clean and Miss Dookie. According to the Polk County Sheriff's Office, the pair targeted a Family Dollar store last month in an unconventional and heinous heist. Suspect number 1, or Mr. Clean, the male suspect, was focused on gathering nearly $500 worth of cleaning supplies. Meanwhile, his accomplice, suspect number 2, dubbed by detectives as Miss Dookie, left her mark in an unforgettable and unpleasant, odoriferous way by pooping on the floor.
Damn.
The sheriff's office said that employees had to clean up the steamy brown mess with little pieces of corn in it.
What the hell?
Oh, no.
What has gotten into you?
Oh, no.
Why are you behaving this way?
I was just picturing what it might look like.
Little pieces of corn.
Just tiny little, mostly undigested pieces of corn.
Why are you doing this to us?
Right there floating on top, Josh?
No, it was kind of mixed in amongst the muck.
I want to be able to trust you.
Have I violated your trust?
Don't they call those tracer rounds?
Oh, dude, I've never heard
You know, Wapple, we're just trying to talk about poop on the floor, and you're getting gross. They posted on social media, the sheriff's office did. If you recognize Mr. Clean or Miss Dookie or have any information about this case, please contact our department. They did mention any tips on the turds can remain anonymous.
Turd tips.
Police are on the hunt for a pervert that is on 2 wheels, a butt-slapping villain on a mini bike, Buttman. The 2-wheeled menace is accused of delivering unsolicited drive-by spankings to women there. One victim was jogging along a trail when Captain Cheek Slap rode up behind her on the small electric bike and struck her right in the backside. According to authorities, it wasn't an isolated incident. The next day, another woman reported a similar assault involving the same modus operandi. A swift slap from a mini bike bandit right on her buttocks. Police say at least 2 additional cases with similar details have been reported in the Denver area in the last week. This guy's just smacking butts on a mini bike, and they don't hear him coming because it's an electric one.
Oh, man.
No. He knows what he's doing.
And then they got their AirPods or whatever in. They're doing a little exercise.
Right.
There would be a part of me that would understand the bit. Like, that's good.
I mean, it's kind of funny, but you're awful worried about what's next for this guy.
Yes.
The next step, Yeah, that could be something horrifying. A friend of mine used to host a party every year called Ass Slap.
Oh, did he really? I mean, was there actually ass slapping?
Oh, yeah, that was the whole gimmick where you show up, just your typical house party. Everyone's drinking and having some laughs, but the vibe of the evening was you wait until someone's not looking, and then you slap them on the ass with every bit of your strength.
We used to have there was maybe a year or 2 years in middle school where I can't remember the cool name we came up for it, but that was the gimmick for a while, just like slapping people's butts when they weren't paying attention. That was probably not good.
Well, I think my birthday is the next one here on the show, and I'd like to go through the spanking machine.
Oh, we'll send you through a couple times.
Yeah, let's bring that back.
That party lasted for, I don't know, a few years, but it came to an end when one slap led to a female bursting out into tears.
Oh no.
And so we said, game over. We can't have crying at the ass slap parties.
Yeah, that's not good.
Nope.
Oh, dude, the dude just put a little too much mustard behind it, and
Did she fall down?
No, there were tears.
Oh man,
it hurt her bottom.
Did he at least show some remorse?
Yeah, I believe he felt bad about it, but he was at about a .23, so there wasn't much you could get out of him, you know.
This guy was his initials NB, and is he the most favorite person in my life?
No, it wasn't me that dumped that. It wasn't me that dumped that lethal shot. It was someone that you know, though.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
I have a guess. I'll have to ask you off air.
Yeah.
Show and Tell got real wrinkly recently after a 60-year-old substitute teacher showed sexually explicit photos of herself.
Oh, no.
What are you talking about? Oh, no.
To her elementary students.
I would have prayed for that.
Yeah, you know what? Certain years of my life I would have too, including this one. Administrators contacted police after learning of Gail Wessel's actions in her classroom, firing her that same day. Like every Wessel I've ever met, Gail had hundreds of explicit images and videos on her phone, many involving herself.
They say she tried to delete the photos while detectives were speaking with her, but later admitted to showing them to the elementary school kids.
What's wrong with this one?
Yeah.
I guess that intervention we had with Aunt didn't quite take over the holidays.
Yeah, Aunt Gail didn't listen.
Still up to it. God, Gail.
When confirmed, several students reported the wayward Wessel showed them the likely saggy images of her naked body. Investigators said she later regretted it. She admitted she exposed herself to students and showed the inappropriate material, and acknowledged she did try and destroy the evidence. Yeah. The former, now substitute teacher, faces 6 counts of showing obscene material to minors and 1 count of tampering with evidence. She also has a criminal history, including arrest for trespassing, battery, resisting arrest, and criminal mischief.
Did she ever say why? Did they ever find out why she would do something like this?
Not that I saw.
She's terribly disturbed.
Yeah. She had that big of a rap sheet, and she was still around, being able to be around elementary school kids.
Yeah, I know. That surprised me as well. Maybe she covered it up, and they couldn't figure it out. I don't know.
Hey, schools are desperate, Dana.
Yeah. That's true.
That's not right. But when I was a 5th grader or something like that, oh boy, I would have asked to be held back.
I wouldn't have been ready in 5th grade, but I think probably like 6th or 7th grade. 7th or 8th grade, I would have been interested in that for sure. Mm-hmm. That would have terrified me as a young person. There's bad days at work, and then there's crashing your work vehicle into a car stopped for a school bus because you were looking at porn. And now you've totally destroyed your police car, Mr. Officer. 29-year-old Lake County Sheriff's Office Deputy Tristan McComber resigned after slamming into a stopped vehicle while looking at pornographic photos on his phone. Initially, he claimed the patrol car's brakes locked up, and he pointed to a recently calibrated speedometer and a lit anti-lock braking system warning as potential culprits. But the truth was body camera footage revealed he was holding his phone just a minute before the crash.
How do you make that mistake when you're wearing a body cam?
You lie about it? Yeah. Well, you're just praying that they don't take a look at it?
Yeah, how do you...
When confronted, he admitted that he wasn't reading texts from colleagues as he first suggested he was looking at porn. Faced with termination, he chose to resign instead. Thankfully, the other driver appeared uninjured as body cam footage showed them getting out of their vehicle and stating they were okay before moving it off the road. Can you imagine?
I just don't understand how you take that chance when you're wearing a recording device on your friggin' chest.
I'm with you.
And porn can be distracting when driving.
Yeah, pull over.
Sometimes.
You probably shouldn't at work, and if you're a cop especially, maybe you shouldn't be doing something like that, but Just pull over, bro.
One of our coworkers liked to watch porn on her way to work, didn't she?
Oh, my God.
That's so odd.
Yeah. Were you with us, Ashley, when we met her?
No, this is way before Smashley.
Oh, that's even before Ashley?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Boy, that was a long time ago. I'll never forget that interaction. That was the one and only interaction I think we've ever had.
Yeah, she was a new staff member, and when we were meeting her...
She's walking in the door to the building as we're walking out.
She said, yeah, I listened to you guys on the way to work. And we said, oh, thanks very much. Yeah, if I'm not watching porn, I watch porn on the way to work. I just put my leg up on the dash, and Josh and I are thinking, my damn, this is one hell of a first meeting.
Yeah, she told us she puts her leg up and masturbates on her way into work.
I wonder if she regretted that after she walked away. I sure hope so.
She didn't seem like it.
No, she seemed like a no-shame type of a person.
Yeah, if you volunteer
from the
that,
limited exposure that we had to her.
Oh.
You know, I don't know why we've never asked after all these years. I want a follow-up. Is she still masturbating behind the wheel? What happened to her? She didn't last very long.
Old habits die hard, Cubby.
Yeah, I think that'd be a tough one to get away from. Opening in theaters this weekend, Gerard Butler. Or wait, is that Gerard? It's something different than that, isn't it?
No, that sounds correct.
Oh, it is? I thought
so.
I thought recently he said it's not Gerard. Anyways. And O'Shea Jackson Jr. are back at it again in Den of Thieves 2 Pantera, vulgar display of nonstop action. It's a sequel to the 2018 heist film Den of Thieves, but this time around, things are pretty much exactly the same.
Oh, I love him, though. I'd watch anything with him in it. Gerard Butler.
O'Shea
he's
Jackson.
Great.
Oh, okay.
They're both great.
One of my girlfriends got to meet him. She used to work at like the Mayo Clinic, so like big shots will go there. And
sick people as well, sure.
Yeah.
But regular sick people also go to the Mayo Clinic.
Yeah, but she had like no idea who he was, and so when
I don't know who that is. Who's Gerard Butler?
He was in Gladiator.
Oh, I know who that is.
300.
Oh, 300. Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
I knew he was just.
I still know
cool.
who that is. Yeah.
But when she told the group of me and my girlfriends, like none of my friends reacted either, and I was freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, like I would have lost my gosh damn mind. But she didn't care.
Watch the language.
Yeah, please. We're just trying to talk about feces on a floor, and here you go. Written and directed by the same author who wrote and directed the first film, Den of Thieves 2 Pantera, once again finds Sheriff Big Nick O'Brien, played by Butler, tracking down a criminal as perilous as a cowboy from hell. Also in theaters this week, The Last Showgirl. It's a drama featuring Pamela Anderson as Shelley Gardner, a seasoned Las Vegas showgirl whose life is upended when her long-running show abruptly closes after 30 years. Critics have praised Anderson's performance.
A Pam Anderson movie.
Yeah.
I never would have predicted that.
They're calling it a career-defining role, and it holds an approval rating above 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. Fans love it, too.
Good for her.
Wow. Yeah, plenty of favorable reviews. Jamie Lee Curtis, Dave Bautista, Brenda Song, Billy Lord, and Jason Schwartzman star as well.
Anybody who is married to Tommy Lee needs something good to happen in their lives. I'm proud of her.
And today on Disney Plus and Hulu, the second season premiere of Goosebumps.
She ended up having kids with him, too.
I know, and she said their relationship is not very good.
Oh, man.
There's a somber anniversary for a good friend of the show we wanted to recognize. Our thoughts are with the Clark family. They're facing a difficult milestone this weekend. Sunday is the 4th anniversary of losing their daughter, Jordan. Shout out to the boys at Beyond Remodeling playing hooky at the Slopes today. And happy birthday to Mucho Grande and Camp On. That's 93X News.
The Minnesota Vikings interview.
That's more encroachment when you go that far. You go, what? That's more than encroachment. Touchdown! Vikings win it!
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
41-yard attempt. Snap and hold are good. The kick is good! Notre Dame has won the Orange Bowl, and Marcus Freeman is taking them to the championship game.
Oh, my damn. We've made our way to Friday, which means a few things. Fridays are funny tie day. Josh's is a fish. I didn't see that coming. It also means Randy Shaver, Brad Ryder. Hello, fellas.
Good morning. Good morning.
Andrew DePaola as well. Pro Bowl long snapper Andrew DePaola. Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning, guys.
It's funny tie day here at the radio station.
I love that for y'all.
Do you guys have that kind of day at the practice facilities? Do you have a casual Friday or anything like that?
Every day seems to be just come as you are.
We used to talk to Kyle Rudolph. He was our Viking before you. And he said there was like a donut day where everybody would bring in donuts. Is there anything like that still going on?
Yeah, like the day before, Saturday, they'll bring in donuts and do like donut, coffee, pastry morning.
Speaking,
I've heard rumors that it's from Puffy Cream. Is that right?
It's from Puffy Cream? I don't. You talking about the donuts?
Yeah.
You know the joint, Brad?
I couldn't tell you where they're from. I don't know where they're from.
Is that a favorite spot of yours, Brad Ryder?
Well, it's a popular spot in Egan.
Brad, he doesn't know donuts. He only knows bagels.
Yeah.
That's true.
If you want a bread circle with a hole in it, that's his thing, bagels. What about
bagels,
mugs?
yeah.
So you mentioned coffee. Hopefully this is a thing. Hardcore Jason Jesus said, we have to ask you about your Kevin O'Connell mug. Do you know what he's talking about?
I know what he's talking about, yeah.
What is your Kevin O'Connor mug?
I've got this mug in my locker, and it says, our coach is hotter than your coach, and it's got a picture of Kevin O'Connell.
We reposted that on our 93X Hams Twitter account not too long ago, and Depot was nice enough to find out where he got the mug from, so all of our listeners can find out where to get themselves one of those mugs as well.
Where is it, a Puffy Cream, or where do you get it?
Yeah. No, it was on. I got it on Etsy. I just like was searching because Kevin's a very good looking dude, so I was like, all right, I think it would be funny to have like one of these mugs and just kind of like make fun of the fact that he's just an exceptionally good looking person in the NFL world. And I went on Etsy and saw this mug, and I was like, oh, this is perfect, exactly what I am looking for. So I went and bought it, and it's in my locker. Funny thing is, I don't even drink coffee. I just fill it with whatever I want to fill it with.
That's hilarious that you had that made. That wasn't gifted to you.
That's a cute gimmick.
Does he get crap for that? You mentioned maybe he gets a little crap for that?
I mean, in a way, not really. I just think it's just like, it's just known, I think anytime that I'll talk to like a woman fan from back home, they're now a fan because they're like, oh my, and your coach. I'm like, oh yeah, we all heard it.
Yeah, we hear that. Ashley, you've mentioned that before.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially like those dry fit shirts he always wears too. He knows what he's doing to us.
He looks good, doesn't he?
Good for him.
He wears it well. Congratulations on another Pro Bowl, Andrew DePaola. I mean, is this just kind of getting to be tired at this point?
Yeah.
Thank you. Not at all. This is really, it was really cool, to be honest with you. Wasn't really expecting it, to be honest, but, to get it is something that never gets old and I'll never take for granted.
Is this
really,
3 years in a row now?
3 years in a row,
3 years in a row. Going to Vegas again? You're going to make the trip?
Orlando.
I don't know why I always think Las Vegas. So Orlando, Florida. Are there any bars or restaurants in Orlando that you haven't hit yet? I mean, you make this trip every year. What else is there to see in Orlando with the wife and the kids?
Man, I tell you what, the kids never get tired of going to Disney. So we're probably going to do that again and try and do as much as we can with them. Kids had a blast last time, so I think we're going to try and make sure that they have fun again. I think what it is every time I keep having a kid every year, so I have to keep bringing another kid to Disney just so they don't get left out.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Are you down there for a full week, or how long a time do you have to spend down there? And how much of that time is taken up by the NFL, and how much time do you have for your family?
Yeah, so like after every Pro Bowl, they send us a survey saying like, hey, where do we do great? Where can we improve? And I think they've really taken that feedback to heart. So now you're only down there for like maybe 4 or 5 days at the most, and a lot of your time is like your personal free time. I think they have a certain like things that we have to be at, but other than that, the time is yours to do with what you want. So I think that's been really cool that they've kind of listened to the players and implemented that stuff.
I think your ultimate goal is to not have to go because you're in the Super Bowl, though, right?
I was just going to say, how much of your kids were hoping that you lose on Monday so they can go to Orlando?
Well, that's kind of funny because when we told them like, hey guys, we didn't tell them like Daddy's making the Pro Bowl. We told them like we get to go to Disney again, and they were all excited. But if we wind up not going, I wonder, do I still have to take them to Disney? Like,
yeah, you do.
They're not going to forget that, man.
Well, now, wait a minute. I keep forgetting now, and Ashley mentioned this earlier. If you guys make the Super Bowl, you will not go to Orlando, correct?
Correct.
Right.
Okay. So then, I think we'd rather see you go to New Orleans. I don't know if the kids would agree, but we'd rather see you go to New Orleans. First things first, though, you got a game coming up on Monday. Now you got to go to Arizona, huh?
Yeah. It's wild.
We've been.
Wild.
I actually think that's an advantage for you guys.
I do too.
I think that nullifies that home game. There's so many snowbirds in Arizona. It's going to feel like a home game for the Vikings.
I keep hearing that from a lot of people, and that would be awesome. Unfortunate for the Rams who earned a home playoff game, but that'd be really cool if that's the case.
Yeah, the fires in California are just absolutely catastrophic. We've been talking, who hasn't been talking back and forth about it a little bit here in the last couple of days. Hopefully, you know anybody out there who's been on the front lines there, Andrew?
Well, we've got a couple former players that have homes out there. I'm not sure exactly where their homes are located. I've heard like one or two maybe in, a zone that is getting hit. But I'm not sure, like 100% where their homes are located.
Just brutal. So now everyone's going to go to Arizona, play at the Cardinals ballpark on Monday night. Mm-hmm. What an incredible story that is. I read that Daniel Jones could end up being the Vikings' backup for that ball game. Have you had a chance to get to know Daniel Jones?
Very little. I mean, I've said hi to him. I've talked to him here and there. The first day I met him actually was like after I kind of had everything going on with my hand. And so, I went up to him and I like went to shake his hand, and everyone in the building kind of knew that like I was going through like a hand problem. Oh. And like he shook my hand and he grabbed it, and I was like, oh. And he looked at me, he's like, what? And I was like, I kind of hurt my hand like 2 games ago. It's killing me right now.
He gave you that.
It was kind of like a little natural icebreaker.
Yeah, he put a little strength behind that handshake, and it had you reeling. Well, that sucks. I've always been sympathetic towards the guy. Anyone who plays in New York and it doesn't turn out well for them, man, those fans can just be bastards. I bet he's so happy to be anywhere but on a New York ball club right now. That's just my feeling. I don't know.
Yeah, he hasn't mentioned it, but that media can be pretty bad up there.
Oh, man. Now, from what I read this morning, Andrew, all the playoff clubs, obviously including you boys, got a memo from the league reminding you to be good sports out there on the ball field during the playoffs.
Be nice, everybody.
I'm not a fan of good sportsmanship. I think it's wildly overrated. But was this passed around the locker room?
I think we got like an email. If I'm being honest, I didn't read it.
You're such a bad boy.
but I guess I have to now. But I did see something. I couldn't tell you what was said.
I have some of the verbiage in front of me. Now, this was sent to, again, all the playoff clubs from NFL Senior Vice President of Officiating Administration.
Okay.
A fella named Perry Fuel, something like that. He sent a memo to the GMs, to the head coaches regarding the importance of sportsmanship. Now, here's some of the verbiage. It says, at this level of competition, emotions will run high, but no amount of emotion should give way to demeaning and offensive words, taunting, or other non-football acts. No one wants a penalty or a player ejection to determine the outcome of the game. Hey, don't speak for everybody. I think that sounds like a fun way to decide a playoff game. So, yeah, I mean, how often do you get these little emails telling you this and that? Do they keep on your ass all year?
Oh, that's the first sportsmanship one I've gotten. We've gotten a few random ones here and there, maybe once or twice a year, but this is the first sportsmanship one that I've gotten.
My sense is that it was strategically sent out by the league, knowing that it was going to get leaked to the rest of society.
Why do you sense that?
Because then they can say that, look what we're trying to do, and it's not going to change anybody's behavior on the field, let's be honest.
Well, it's Andrew DePaola. Could you say right now that you have witnessed something on the field, maybe more than one thing on the field this year, that you would consider poor sportsmanship?
Directly, personally?
Well,
no. It doesn't have to be directly. Doesn't have to be directed at you. But say the gimmick these days, and you see your teammates do this all the time. When a turnover happens, everyone charges into the end zone and has a dance party. Do you consider that poor sportsmanship?
No, I think that's just celebrating.
Okay. So you can't think of anything off the top of your head that you saw on the field this year that you would consider poor sportsmanship?
I mean, I honestly can't think of anything right now. No.
Okay. Well, they say that fines and on-field acts have sharply risen from last season. The NFL issued 419 fines over last year's regular season and playoffs. This season, the NFL has issued 484 fines, and we haven't even started the playoffs yet. So I guess there's a concern out there that I can't think of anything. I don't know. I mean, we read about this stuff every week, but it slips my memory. Can anyone think of just an egregious act where you thought, okay, that's disgusting?
God, no.
See, there you go. No. But yet, I guess there was a rise in incidents this year. Violent
Honestly,
gestures.
I just think there was a rise in them being called. I was
going to say they're a little bit more sensitive about it this year.
Taunting, violent gestures.
I can only think of when a player does a play and they go over the player and kind of taunts at them.
Stands over them.
Stands over them.
I kind of like that.
You get a throat slash here and there. You get a handgun, a hand gesture now and again.
Or wasn't there a college kid that he did like a bow and arrow? Was that this year?
I can't.
That sounds familiar. I thought Justin Jefferson got a penalty for staring down a defensive player when he made a touchdown relatively recently?
Oh, yeah, while he was doing the gritty.
Well, you boys
he grittied at the player.
You can't gritty at
No, you must gritty to open space only.
It's directed personally to a player, then they jump on you at any rate. Apparently,
how's that work in the
league
NBA?
Decided to give you a reminder. Yes.
Because Anthony Edwards, he had that poster dunk last night.
Yeah.
He stares down a defender afterwards. Is that something they can call a foul?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Taunting.
sure.
Yeah.
So they didn't last night, but they could have.
That's what I was wondering.
He cut it off. He cut it off right in time, I think.
He does that often.
Yes. He was mugging this player, and then he walked away just in time.
It's also very subjective depending upon who the referee is, too. If they're thick-skinned or not thick-skinned.
And the guy he stared down didn't even know what happened because his soul had already left his body.
The guy was kind of laughing, I think, who Edwards.
It's all you can do at that point.
Right.
Well, he tried to get out of the way. I mean, he didn't even try to defend that dunk. He knew it was going to be a monster, and he just got out of the way. So, yeah.
I'd be A1 from day one.
I just made the Anthony Edwards trading card for next year.
We'll get back to the Wolves here shortly. Andrew, I know we got to let you go. We're very excited for Monday night. Very proud of you for accomplishing another Pro Bowl. And, I mean, all we can do here as fans is just sit here and wish you all the luck in the world coming up in Arizona.
Yeah, thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Hey, and I can't underscore the support that I've gotten from the brotherhood and sisterhood. It's no coincidence that I've been on the show for 3 years, and I've gone to 3 straight Pro Bowls. So thank you guys so much. It means the world. To see me out in public, I know some of you have said hi, but please say hi. I'd love to hear from all of you. It's been amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's awesome.
You're a good man, Andrew DePaola. It couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
Well
so
deserved.
Get her done. We'll hope to talk to you after a victory.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
Total pimp. Andrew DePaola. We'll be watching on Monday.
That's awesome.
You're awesome, Randy Shea.
That's awesome that he says that. That's great.
He's a good man.
He really is.
Without a doubt.
All right, so coming up next Monday, will all be gathered around the television for the playoff game, which is the first step towards hopefully an appearance in the big game.
And the move to Arizona has changed my perspective on the game.
Mine as well.
Okay.
The Vikings are going to win.
All right.
Oh, you're gonna make a prediction now.
Yeah, because
Andrew's off the phone.
The home field advantage is gone. The Rams have been displaced. There's a lot of snowbirds in Arizona. It's going to feel like a home game for the Vikings. I just think the playing field has been leveled between these two teams now, and I just think the Vikings will end up winning that game.
Let's get back to that, Randy Shaver. We'll get back to that in just a minute.
It's going to be a close game, but I think they win too.
Our next guest on the telephone, a gal called Christina. She got involved in our Purple Pick'em setup. She texted in. She already won a $25 gift card to Dickey's Dam Barbecue Pit of Egan. And now, here she sits on the telephone line, looking is what I've tried to say, to get rich with some score predictions. Hello, Christina.
Good morning.
What's going on with you? Where are you from, Skis?
Princeton, Minnesota.
Princeton?
Yep.
Do you know Clay Matvick? Do you know Clay Matvick?
Well,
I did not.
Okay. He's from Princeton. You thought the giggle meant something else.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That she'd been in the Clayboy Mansion once or twice.
What do you do for a living there, Christina?
I'm a store manager
A store manager? You ever had to throw anybody out?
at Casey's.
Huh?
At Casey's.
Casey's. You had to throw somebody out of Casey's?
No.
Oh, okay. They're well behaved because they're excited about that pizza.
Right, yeah. Casey's is too wonderful a place to misbehave in.
Oh, yeah.
Christina, thanks so much for getting involved in Purple Pick'em.
Thank you.
Big game coming up on Monday. What is your prediction for the halftime score?
Minnesota 16
Mm-hmm.
and the Rams 10.
All right. And what about when they close her down, the final?
30 Minnesota
Mm-hmm.
and 24 for the Rams.
So you're going along. You're with Randy Shaver now. You're going that way. If you get either score correct, you'll win $1,000. If you get both of them, you'll win $100,000 plus a trip to that big championship game I was telling you about. And this whole operation is brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. We thank them quite a bit. You ever been down in New Orleans, Christina?
I have not yet.
It's kind of like a big Casey's.
Awesome.
You'll be right at home. It's a big Casey's, but yet they serve a lot of beans and rice and gumbo and whatnot.
Not the pizza that you might expect at Casey's.
You're probably not going to. You a hard time finding pizza down there, but you can find out. And you just drink and carry on. You're from Princeton. You know how to drink and carry on.
I do.
We wish you just as much luck as we just wished Andrew DePaola on the telephone. We'd love to get a winner, especially here in the playoff. You know, that'd be extra special. So thanks, Christina.
Thank you. Have a great day.
We'll talk to you later. She's a spicy little pickle, that one.
Yeah, I like her. If you're in the Princeton area, stop by Casey's and say hello.
I bet she's thrown some bitches out, though. I bet she has. She's just trying to be nice on the telephone.
She sounded tough.
All right, so Randy Shaver, you were saying now that the flipping game has been moved to Arizona, now you're picking the Vikes. What a ballsy move that is. And Brad Ryder, you're agreeing with that.
I am. I was going to change my pick today, too. I think that they're going to win 23-20.
Okay. All right.
I think it'll still be a close game. But.
Tell me a little bit about it, because I thought at the beginning of this week the Vikings. I thought you told me the Vikings were like a 4-point favorite, and then I saw
the last time I looked 2 days ago they were 2.5-point favorites before they moved the game.
The line went down to 1. The Vikings were a 1-point favorite. I saw that yesterday. I'm wondering now, and that was before the move to Arizona. So I'm wondering what the line looks like now that game has been moved to Arizona, because I have to believe the Vikings probably. That line is not going to change all that much now.
Looks like a 1-point favorite.
Yeah.
Okay. You really
it's pretty much a pick 'em, right? I mean, it's pretty much a pick 'em game.
Now, let me ask you
even though
this. Since the game is being played at the Cardinals ballpark, can Cardinals players get involved in the game?
Schoolyard pick.
Can we have a draft?
Gerald, help us.
Yeah. Can we have a draft
Yeah.
of Cardinals players that would like to play in the game?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What's that little quarterback's name again?
Kyler Murray.
Iron Murray?
Kyler Murray.
I'd like to pitch him the ball in the backfield, I'll tell you
A
that.
couple of run plays or something.
Yeah.
I'm seeing the spread is still 2.5 on DraftKings, but
I think it'd be really cool if the Cardinals players could somehow find their way onto the field for Monday's game. Now, the Rams and Vikings are pretty evenly matched when it comes to wide receiver DWIs.
Yeah, they're up there.
Oh, really?
Rams wide receiver. Yeah, Rams wide receiver DeMarcus Robinson has been charged with 1 count of misdemeanor DWI. Now, this is nothing new. He was arrested back in November after the California Highway Patrol saw him going more than 100 miles an hour down the road. So I guess there was some kind of investigation before the actual charges come down. But there you go. Each ball club has a wide receiver that's a terrible driver. The Vikings have Addison McMadison, or whatever the hell that guy's name is.
Addison.
And the Rams have DeMarcus Robinson.
Madison.
Evenly matched in that department. Your name is Josh, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah, we're right. I mean, we got to step it up.
Addison McMadison.
And I think Addison's our guy. He's already got 2. So maybe we're in the lead.
Oh, he has 2?
Yeah, he's got 2, right?
Oh, I don't remember that.
Well, no, I take that back. I take that. The first time was the speeding.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think alcohol was involved. So
Okay.
And I think Addison McMadison was driving faster, so we win.
Did he go faster than 100?
Well, the first time.
Yeah, yeah, he
the
did.
Second time, remember, he was parked on the freeway in his Rolls Royce or whatever.
Right.
Taking a nap.
Yeah.
So you're saying the Vikings have the overall edge? I don't know.
Because he was going faster. Sure.
We'll call the State Patrol. We'll find out.
Looks like he was going 140.
There you go.
Dog emergency. Let the man live.
140.
This is Addison?
Yeah. Addison McMadison.
What in the hell are you doing 140 miles per hour?
He said it was a bad emergency.
Every time I've driven down 494, there's no way you can go that fast. So he must have been driving on some other road.
Was this where he said the dog had to poop or something?
It was a pet emergency.
Oh, my gosh.
A pet
It
emergency.
was on 35. Was it on
Was
35?
it? Okay.
Yeah.
Good
I thought
God.
It was 62. I don't know.
Yeah, 62.
It was definitely on a freeway.
Stupid people. Okay, all the big-time NFL wild card round playoff games will be played tomorrow and Sunday. Now that you guys are feeling all predictably, any upset predictions? Any predictions at all with the wild card round?
Randy, you can go first.
Anything interesting?
Now that it looks like Jalen Hurts is fully playing for the Eagles, I'm not going the Green Bay route.
That
now
was
that it
silly
looks
in
like
the first
Hurts is
place.
in play. Well, it wasn't silly, but as far as upsets go, I'm sure there'll be one that will happen, but I don't know where it's coming from. I don't like the Steelers to upset Baltimore. I think Baltimore's way too good. I think Buffalo is just head and shoulders above Denver. I just don't see an upset. Sorry.
Okay. No, that's fine. You don't got to apologize. If the better teams win, that's your prediction. Go ahead.
I'm not sure a 4-5 game. Yeah, I was going to say I'm not sure a 4-5 game is an upset, but I think the Chargers will beat Houston in Houston. Okay. I like them a little bit.
Yeah, that's not really an upset though. Aren't the Chargers favored to win that game?
They might be.
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys are obsessed with the line lately. Now
I actually like the Packers yet, though. I do. I think the Packers have a great chance.
I still think that game's probably the most intriguing game of the week.
Curb stomping is what it's going to be.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
All right, so you
but
said,
I think the Eagles.
Randy Shaver, you said you think the Bills are head and shoulders above the Broncos, however you said it.
I do.
That's because you didn't hear this very interesting statistic about Denver Broncos head coach Sean Payton. One of my favorites. One of my favorite coaches of all time. He'll do anything to win, and I appreciate that. The Broncos play at the Bills in the first round on Sunday. Here's that stat. It's going to change your damn mind.
What's the bounty on Josh Allen?
Stop it. Stop it with the bounty crap. Guy did what he had to do to win a ball game and a Super Bowl. Don't make me go on my rant again about that. Someone at the bar last weekend brought it up. I don't like Sean Payton because of the bounty thing. He did what he had to do to win.
Ankle. He blew up Brett Favre's ankle.
Good.
Ruined it.
Good. Sean Payton has gone 30-12. That's an impressive record.
Without a doubt.
Since the year 2017, Sean Payton has gone 30-12 against bald head coaches. Buffalo's head coach, Sean McDermott, is bald.
Who
Come on.
got this stat?
Keep track of that.
That's the only stat we need to be looking at.
30-12 against.
Who came up with that?
Your mother came up with that. This is real stuff here.
Mama Ryder, no.
That's a lot of games against bald-headed coaches.
I'm trying to think. He must have played. There must have been a bald-headed coach in his division for a long time.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who that could be.
See, you guys are interested about this.
What division do they play in? The damn the West.
Saints were. They used to be in the West. They used to be in the West.
Since 2017, he's had 42 games against bald head coaches. That's a lot of, like you said, that's a lot of bald head coaching.
Head coaching is stressful, I guess.
And unless Sean McDermott goes and sees those people that Dana sees on the weekends about getting some hair, unless that happens, Sean McDermott will be bald on Sunday.
He comes on the field wearing a wig.
Toupee.
Yeah. There's a real bad one, too.
I love that friggin' stat.
That's hilarious.
Peyton knows to step on these sorry sumbitches when they're down. He knows how to kick them when they're down.
The thing is, people will probably bet on that stat, like see that as like a sign that they should make that bet against the Bills.
Well, are they counting Brad Childress as bald?
I don't know.
In
17, was Childers still the coach in 17?
I didn't see him on the list. They put a list of.
They did?
Yeah.
Oh, read us some of those names.
Well, when he was with the New Orleans Saints, he would have been in the NFC South. So
Right.
who were the coaches there?
I don't know. Let Josh read the friggin' list.
All right, so starting in 2017, here's the wins. Jim Caldwell, Sean McDermott, Todd Bowles, Dan Quinn, Hugh Jackson, another Dan Quinn. This is 2018. I'm sorry, I moved on to 2018.
Of course, there's repeat.
Well, Dan Quinn was probably with Atlanta then.
Yeah, he's got Dan Quinn a few times.
Dan Quinn.
Marvin Lewis, Mike Tomlin in 2019, Bill O'Brien, Bruce Arians, Matt Nagy.
Now I want to know who he had trouble beating. Who were the losses to?
Coaches with hair.
Coaches with full heads of hair.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah, on the bald list,
he was intimidated.
He lost to Dan Quinn once in 2017. And he lost to him in 2019.
Those must have been
Dan Quinn revenge games.
Those must have been flukes that he lost to coaches. The ball. Anytime the man would lose to a bald coach. That's the most fascinating stat I've heard in a long time.
That's just who the hell knows? Oh my God, that's hilarious.
All right, what else is going on around here? Pretty entertaining college football game last night.
Awesome.
Playoff semifinal game between Pennsylvania State and Notre Dame. I got to see
it was a really good game last night.
Lots of drama. In the end, Penn State's quarterback threw an interception real late in a tie ball game, and that led to a game-winning field goal for Notre Dame. So the Irish kids head on over to the national championship game.
You know, they were so deep in their territory last night. There was under a minute to go. I understand about trying to win the game and being aggressive, but that was just not a good call. It was not a good pass. It was not a good try. There was too much on the line. I'm not saying they should have played to the overtime because you never know what's going to happen in the OT, but that was just not a good play.
I think they should have taken a knee.
Well,
you head into overtime, you take a knee, and you take your chances in overtime.
Yeah, Denny might have. I mean, the best comment I heard last night after the game, Notre Dame wins, is that, and I agree with this because I've seen enough Notre Dame games, and I've heard enough from Marcus Freeman, the head coach. The line was something to the effect of, this coach, and he is a great coach. He's a very, very inspirational person. That he has found a way for people to love Notre Dame again.
Let's not
which
go too far.
I thought was a great line.
I heard that line too, Randy. I did.
For years, Nick, people hated Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I know a lot of people
hated Notre Dame. Why? Just hated them. Thought they were elite. all this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of went away because they weren't as good, and they weren't in the public eye as much. But they've come back around in a different way to like or love Notre Dame again, based on this coach and how he treats his players and talks to the public and all those kind of things. I thought that was a great line.
He's made him likable again. Okay, fair enough.
Yes, made him likable.
I still remember the video that they posted of Marcus Freeman telling his players at the end of last season that he was going to be the head coach of Notre Dame, and the whole locker room.
Well, it was 3 years ago. It was 3 years ago. Yeah.
They like the guy. Tonight, the other half of that semifinal round will be played. The University of Texas plays Ohio State. By the way,
Texas has no excuses because it's the Cotton Bowl. So if they don't win in the Cotton Bowl,
it's a home game, basically a home game for them.
Yeah.
Now, this is according to the folks at Bro Bible. A couple of Ohio State fans, young kids, college kids, mistakenly bought Orange Bowl tickets, thinking the Buckeyes would be playing in that ball game as opposed to the Cotton Bowl.
Oh no.
So according to a reporter's story from the Orange Bowl last night, he ran into 2 Ohio State students in the hotel elevator. They misread the bracket and thought Ohio State would be playing in the Orange Bowl. I'm not sure when they realized that, but they did end up in Florida last night and went to the Penn State.
Okay, I understand buying the ticket. I understand making the mistake buying the tickets, but at some point between buying the tickets and getting on a plane and going to Florida, don't you figure out?
No. I believe it. I would take a guess that they figured it out, but went anyway just to kind of embrace the idiocy of it all.
Took the loss.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think they got off the airplane in Florida and said, this isn't Texas.
Oh, my God.
I would have put those tickets on StubHub.
Right. You could have
exactly. Oh, it could have got more than your money back.
They embraced the horror and went down to Florida. Anyway.
No, they walked to the stadium and go, where's our team?
Where's the red? Where's all the red?
Is this like the JV game before the Ohio State game?
The Pigs got pumped at home.
Oh, my God.
6-1. 6-1. Oh, they're playing without the Russian kid, playing without Jonas Brodin, Jared Spurgeon, Brock Faber. Old Phil did not have a good night. The Colorado Avalanche got him 6-1. They got a busy weekend. They're at San Jose tomorrow night, Vegas on Sunday. Vegas on Sunday, I said. Other hockey stuff. The Frost. I haven't had an opportunity to watch the Frost yet. The ladies' hockey team. They play Montreal here on Sunday. Golden Gopher women's hockey is versus St. Thomas this week. Men's hockey, Golden Gopher, they're at Ohio State this weekend. Timberwolves are back on a little bit of a roll. Beat the Orlando Magic 100.
How is it?
That a guy can't finish his sentence? I don't know.
No. How is
Randy,
it
I'm kidding. Go ahead.
I can't hear you very well.
Oh, yeah?
How is it the Orlando Magic have 2 more wins than the Wolves? That team is terrible.
Well, everyone's heard of that ball club.
I was going to say they've got some injury issues going on right now. That's why I thought they needed to win that game last night, and they did.
They got a lot of injury issues. I mean, they're super banged up, but man, they're still 22-17. It's like, how?
Yeah, Eastern Conference type of a thing. I don't know.
I think the Eastern Conference is actually pretty good. I don't know, man. I watched that game last night for a while anyway until it got out of hand, and it was like, man, this team is bad. It's just
our guy Jalen Suggs is having a really good year, though. I mean, he's having kind of a breakout year.
Yeah, but he's banged out. He's banged up too. I mean,
that might be why they lost last night.
Julius Randle had 23 points and 10 rebounds last night. Anthony Edwards, 21. And he launched himself, like we were talking earlier, he launched himself over a few players for another one of his massive slam dunks.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Just electrified the crowd. Let's look at those AE1s. Ooh, baby. Get up, young fella. Goodness.
This is up on 93x.com, too.
The move to DiVincenzo to start at guard is paying off. They've won 3 in a row because of it.
Yeah, he's done well. And, of course, Mike Conley Jr. is a mature adult and can handle coming off the bench without wetting his pants.
He actually played well.
He was plus 23 last night.
Mike Jr. He just he'll do whatever the hell you ask him. What happened? It was close here and there last night, but the Wolves were the better club all night long.
Yeah,
like I said, the Magic were missing some key players due to injury.
Yeah, Paolo ended up not playing, so they're a better team.
Timberwolves host the Memphis Grizzlies tomorrow night. This is our
John Morant is back.
First look at the Grizzlies as far as I can remember. Golden Gopher
I think
basketball.
they're healthy.
Golden Gopher men's basketball are at Wisconsin tonight. Here's a cute text from Smokes Your Mom's Pot Jesus. Texted in to say that he's going to the Vegas versus Pigs game on Sunday in Las Vegas. This is cute. I've heard great things about that arena. I want to check it out. Yeah, you're going to Vegas to check out the hockey rink. Come on.
I've been in that arena. It's not that great.
Come on, Smokes Your Mom's Pot Jesus. You're not going to Vegas for the hockey rink, dude. You're going there to woo-wee.
Yeah, I actually know somebody else who's out in Vegas right now for that big CES show, and they are staying to go to the Wild game on Sunday. And I just got a text from him yesterday. He's going to divert his flight back and go through Phoenix now and go to the Vikings game on Monday.
I wish I would have come from money.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah.
That sounds nice, doesn't it?
Tell your friend I wish I was a trust fund baby. I'm kidding, Brad Ryder. That sounds like a hell of a lot of fun. The CES show, the Computer Electronics Show. We were talking about that.
Consumer electronics, yeah.
What did I say?
You said computer, yeah.
Oh.
That's we were just talking about that on Monday or Tuesday.
That's a trip that Cubby would have liked to make.
I'd love to go to one of those.
Yeah, he's a techie guy.
I enjoy those things.
Oh, Randy Shaver, you say the Vegas arena isn't that great. Here's a listener that says the Vegas hockey rink sucks.
Yeah, it's not that great.
It is cool that it's located right in the Strip, though.
Sure.
Yeah, it's right behind New York. It's right there, but it's nothing great.
I wonder how much vomit and urine they have to clean up at the end of a hockey game in Vegas.
Yeah.
Now, that football stadium is impressive. I've been in that, though.
I went to the stadium is, yeah.
Yeah, I went to the Billy Joel concert out there in November.
Is that anywhere near the Strippy Strip?
Yes, it's right behind Mandalay Bay.
So they must have even more problems with vomit and urine than the average.
And wait till they build that baseball stadium, which will sit right on the corner next to MGM.
By Excalibur.
All three of those facilities will be easily within a half mile of each other.
Oh,
it's going to be
like a
quite
traffic
the complex.
nightmare.
Have you been to Vegas?
It will be.
You walk
it's
everywhere
gross.
there.
Ashley's worried about the traffic.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that, a bar, a casino in Vegas will probably let you get away with a little more than any other town, right? Mm-hmm. I wonder if they have the same attitude at their ballparks, where, you walk into the Vegas hockey game, they let you in, even though most rinks wouldn't have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're tuned up a little bit more.
I wonder if there'll ever be a time, like especially in Vegas, where you go get yourself a hot dog and place a bet on the game in the same concourse. If that would.
Oh, many arenas around the country already have that, Josh.
Oh, they do? I would have assumed the league would.
Almost any state that has legalized sports wagering now actually has like either a FanDuel's or whatever right in the arena, and you can bet in the arena.
I had no idea.
Yep.
I don't know how you keep yourself together, keep yourself in line.
That's crazy.
I don't know how you keep yourself in line if you're a pro athlete in Las Vegas. I would be incarcerated almost immediately.
Yeah, it's got to be a challenge.
Yeah.
You really have to be super disciplined.
Yeah.
Which is hard to do because all these athletes are so young.
And filthy rich.
The key is not to live near the Strip. Probably.
I would bet.
Right.
Because if I played for the Vegas Golden Knights and I'm 22 years old, I got my hockey bag over my shoulder and my spare sticks in my free hand as I'm walking into Cheetahs immediately after a game. You know what I mean? It would just, I don't know, how do you keep it together? You'd have to live 30 miles out of town.
And didn't the Golden Knights, when they won the Cup, didn't they get like lifetime lap dances from Cheetos or somewhere like that?
Well, they all sell that. I don't know if any of them ever
took them up on
actually act on it, but I don't know. I just imagine that the cleanup crew at the Vegas hockey rink probably has a little more of their work cut out for them than the average joint. But there you go. All right, it's a big weekend, gentlemen, and then leading up to Monday. So I'm glad you guys finally came around and made some picks. That was exciting. It really was. Jesus, what the hell was that? Screaming at Brad. Brad and Randy, you guys have a great weekend.
All right, you too.
We'll talk to you on Monday morning. We'll be back in a few minutes.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Dana here for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. We all know January is one of the coldest months of the year, and not that cheery, fun kind of Christmas cold. Nah, just the dark, dank January cold. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is well aware of this, and that's why they're offering $40 off a furnace tune-up to keep you warm during the Minnesota cold. The last thing you want is to be huddled around an iffy space heater you bought from some shady targeted ad. Oh, and how about this? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning has now been helping Minnesotans for over 95 years. So book your appointment now at standardheating.com. That's standardheating.com.
Bravo TV star Lala Kent holds nothing back on the Give Them Lala podcast.
No, I have a very short fuse.
Get to know the TV personality.
I don't need to watch the show because I get the real life version.
From relationships and motherhood.
Let me tell you something about breastfeeding.
To business and beyond.
You are scared of failure, so it prevents you from trying. This is where we implement a big set of ovaries, and then we obsess.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
And how many drinks would you say you consume each week?
Socially, about 4 to 6. Alone in the dark while crying to Adele, 100.
On 93X.
All right, get a load of this here. It is Friday. It's 8:30, and we welcome you back to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. Earlier, we jaw-jacked up and down. We went back and forth about a new condition that is crippling some of us. Telephobia, they call it. Telephobia, a fear of live telephone conversations. And there's a college course out in England that will try and rid you of your fears and anxieties, connected to simply talking on the telephone to another live human being. All of the texting and the this and the that has led to a lot of folks suffering from telephobia. Now, there are a couple other developments in the world of modern communication, Josh. A report says that people who use social media, quote, most of the day are more irritable than non-social media dorks.
That
makes sense.
They call it what? Doom scrolling? Just a lot of negativity online.
It's just people attacking each other up and down.
Yeah. And sometimes it's like you read a very sweet story and think, well, nobody could have anything to ruin this. And 3 comments down, it's the most awful thing you've ever heard.
It's just been worse and worse lately, too, especially on Twitter. I think I would be a lot happier if I didn't have Twitter, but...
Why don't you just get rid of it? I did.
Or just use the block and mute feature. Anytime you see somebody say something crappy, just block that
Yeah,
person.
that thing like barely works anymore. But because that's where I see like that's how I'm like up to date on a lot of stuff. If it wasn't for Twitter, I would probably have no idea what's going on.
People are significantly more likely to feel irritable, angry, and annoyed the more they consume social media.
Aren't there other places you could go that are more positive? Like, I don't know, Carol Levin's website or, just a particular news site if that's what you want to follow up on?
The Chive?
Happynews.com.
They usually don't have like I don't know, all the videos, all the recipe videos I like, the dog videos, stuff like that.
Are some better than others? Like my wife, she's on Instagram,
Reels,
Facebook, and maybe Snapchat. I think those are the ones.
Your wife hangs out there?
Yeah, she peruses those. I don't know which one she's most active on, but
I watch a lot of Instagram Reels videos, and those are pretty good. But I mean, most of the algorithm is tailored to what I want, like cooking videos, video game stuff, sports.
So the folks at Harvard Medical School, well, I'll be damned. They know a thing or two, I would imagine. They studied people 18 and older who use social media all friggin' day long, and they studied folks who ignore that garbage. And they said the folks who are staring at social media most of the day scored 3 times higher on the irritability scale. Did I say that right? Irritability than those who never touch the stuff.
More anxiety than hair. Jesus said he recently did away with Facebook and Instagram, and he's definitely noticed himself being less crabby.
Now, the question is, according to the story, Is it social media that makes people irritable, or do irritable people just use more social media?
I could see that for sure.
I think
don't
probably
friggin' know.
more the latter. That's not a general rule, but I think maybe irritable people go on there to express their irritation.
Some people are just looking to start a
That's
fight.
kind of the goal, right?
Yeah.
Let me start a faceless fight from 350 miles away.
And then bots too, right? I've heard people talk about that, where it's just I don't know, somebody
Not even a real person.
Yeah, they just meant to have provocative statements.
Yeah, rage bait.
But you're right, Josh. There are people where, like you mentioned earlier, how somebody will see a cute story and then find a reason to get upset about it. It seems like a lot of people go on social media for that very reason. All right, what can I be angry about today? Let's see here. Oh, I'm going to get pissed about this thing that doesn't affect me whatsoever, but I'm going to make a big stink about it.
The other development is how a grown person would say it in the world of constant communication. People are attempting, this is so silly, people are attempting, and it's a challenge for some of them, they're attempting the 1-day phoneless challenge where you go without your phone for 24 hours, and there are people who just can't do it.
That is so sad.
If it wasn't required for work, I easily could do that.
Of course.
Easily.
24 hours without using your phone. This is supposed to be a way to combat our phone addiction.
I told you guys this before, but one of the best 3-4 months of my life is when I broke my smartphone and I didn't have enough money to buy a new smartphone. So I used this old crappy phone that had no access to the internet. I couldn't have any apps on it. It was so peaceful and nice. But then I got the smartphone and I became a junkie again.
Offended Millennial Jesus said social media to him is another form of entertainment, not an extension of his emotions. So he just enjoys it.
That's what I use it for.
I had that thought a minute ago when we were, a similar thought, when we were talking about how it's just angry, derelict, jagoffs looking to start trouble. I am drawn to that. I am. I love that kind of thing. I love watching grown people come completely uncorked. So don't get me wrong. I am tempted a little bit when it comes to social media. I am tempted to sign up because I am, like that individual just said, I am entertained to a certain amount, to a certain level by that kind of thing. But I've yet to pull the trigger yet.
So I like YouTube is primary. If there's, that's not really social media, I guess, but YouTube I watch a lot of, right? And I love YouTube University. And so every once in a while I'll read the comments or it'll kind of pop up. And it's so frustrating for these people creating, free content, just the dumb stuff people. So if there's only one thing I could type, it would just be the rolling eyes emoji. I would use that over and over and over. So true. It's like there's times I'm like, are you serious? You're that picky about this is completely free, and you didn't have to watch it.
Right. That's what you took from this free videos. You want a reason to complain about it.
I've learned so much from that stuff. See, I appreciate it, and these folks are just jerks about it.
I am drawn to the negativity. Remember back in the COVID days when grown people were having just out-of-control spinning temper tantrums at the entrance of Home Depot or whatever because they were asked to wear a mask. I used to go and hang out at those places, and I was like, ooh-wee, come on, give me a full-on adult meltdown, but I never saw one in person. I was going out to public places like that just by chance that someone would wet their pants, and I never got to see one in person.
You wanted to be on ground zero for the next
Yes, I would hang out by the entrance of Menards and say, come on, old timer that's going to have a friggin' conniption because they're asked to wear a mask. But I never got lucky. I never did.
Hot Mom Jesus and Smokes Your Mom's Pot Jesus both off of social media now and feel a lot better. Ashley, just try it.
Here's the challenge, Ashley, okay? And you can tell us if you think you could make her through the 1-day phoneless challenge. Once your alarm goes off in the morning, turn off your phone. Put it away for the next 24 hours. You're not allowed to use... You can't, pardon me, I skipped a step there. You cannot turn on your phone or check any notifications. You're allowed to use a landline. You cannot reference your phone for anybody's phone number. If you want to call someone, you need to have their number written down. Oh, no!
I'm good at that.
What is this, 1981? I got to write a phone number down on a piece of paper?
I take pride in remembering people's phone numbers.
Do you really?
Yeah, I like it quite a bit.
I can remember...
Oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead. Sorry.
That and like maybe it's just numbers for me, but I also like to I take pride. Like I know my debit card number by heart, my routing number, my bank account number. Like I think that's cool. I'm like, yeah, check it out.
Yeah, it's cool until you're kidnapped and then somebody has all your information because they torture it out of you. Didn't think of that one, did you?
Nope.
My wife, when we first started dating seriously, she made me remember her phone number.
Oh, yeah?
That was like something she wanted me to have. So I don't really know any new phone number. And by new, I should say, since like probably the late 90s. But I do remember a lot from when I was a kid, when you had to.
Well, let's put you to the test, Josh. What's your wife's phone number?
Ashley, you can't check
It's
your
on
email.
her OnlyFans page. Look it up.
You can't check your email. You can't watch your Angela White porno movies. Okay, you can check your email if it's from a wired desktop computer. You won't have access to your text messages, your GPS, your social media, your camera, your alarm, your notes, your calendar, anything.
If you guys were cool with this, because I mean, I kind of need all that stuff for work, then I would love to be able to do this.
Do it.
Yeah, do it.
Hopefully nothing crazy happens. You
What
just
it
need
do,
me.
Jesus? What it do, Jesus, is blaming me for the spread of COVID because I was hanging out at the entrance of public places.
I had a feeling that was going to come in through.
I'm sorry, dude. I had to be there. It never paid off, but I had to be there just in case.
Well, it's worth it.
We had all those on air. We had all those videos and all that great audio of people just when they were asked to wear a mask at the entrance of a store. I thought, I want to be there. It never happened.
By the way, Ashley, not to put you on the spot, but a lot of people are thinking you're lying about this whole deal. And just to prove it, why don't you give out your Social Security number and your mother's maiden name?
The one-day phoneless challenge. Come on. You can do it.
Who couldn't do it here, honestly?
Dana,
probably not, right?
Yeah, it'd be tough. I mean, if there's no work responsibilities, I knew, I didn't have to do anything.
There are no work responsibilities. You still couldn't do it.
I don't know. I would be open to the challenge, but you're right. It would be hard, but I would welcome the challenge.
Yeah, the only things for me would be work responsibilities or making sure like the kids could get a hold of me if it's an emergency or they have something they want to rip on me about.
Oh, yeah, the whole kid thing, that would throw a wrench into it.
This is funny. In the article, there's a young gal here who has a quote, and she says, "Can I just start with a half hour?" and she's serious. She's serious.
Work your way up.
She says she would have to start small with just 30 minutes because it's just constant. Ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. Hand on the phone all day long. It's amazing when I go to a ball game now. Everybody has their phone in their lap, in their hand. Even the courtside Timberwolves fans will sit there and play with their...
I hate that.
What was the other thing? Oh, when you go to a bar now, everyone's got their phone on the bar in case it rings, in case it buzzes, in case they get a notification.
Well, I take mine out just because it's kind of uncomfortable, like to have in my pocket.
Oh, is that right?
Well, I like to wear these super tight pants.
Yeah. We like it too.
That's pretty much. Or sometimes it gets hot. I don't like having a phone-shaped hot mark on my leg. That kind of thing.
But a lot of acts these days, like Dave Chappelle, when he comes to town and does shows, you got to lock your cell phone up, and there's people that complain, like, "Well, I'm not going to see Dave Chappelle then." Well, you'll show him. I'm sure he's not going to sell his show out anymore.
Now, people are saying, well, what do I do on the toilet if I don't have the phone?
That's what I was thinking, too.
You got to go buy Sports Illustrated, and preferably one from like 6 months ago that's still been sitting there for a while. And
I have handheld Yahtzee and handheld poker in my bathroom.
That's crazy. I'm never
And you
in
know
the
what,
bathroom
Josh?
long enough.
As far as the handheld poker, Josh, right now, I'm up.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm up
that's
right
great.
now.
Good for you.
All right. Usually the house always wins.
No, I'm up.
That's awesome.
Currently.
By the way, Tony has said he's doing it right now. Sent from his smartphone. He's on the can, texting us.
Nice.
It's a beautiful thing.
Congrats.
Okay. We can move on.
Oh, sad Packer fan Jesus wants to know, Dana, could you do it on your wedding day?
Oh, for sure, yeah. I mean, there'd be nobody I would really need to talk to, I think, On my first wedding day, I didn't have my phone on me.
Does she not let you, or?
No, I just don't think I had it on. I don't remember the circumstances, but
you are a dedicated.
You're a little busy.
You're a dedicated man. Okay, I'm a little worried that I'm going to get too mad talking about what I have in front of me next. I don't think my doctor would recommend I get involved in this. It involves farts. I think I just heard Ashley's blood pressure go up as well.
She tuned out.
Farts aren't meant to be used as a weapon. I'm a strong believer in that. Some gal is going on and on, speaking of social media, some gal is going on and on about how her boyfriend won't stop farting on her.
Yes, this story.
I saw an absolutely hilarious video yesterday. Someone was in one of those, it wasn't a T-Rex costume, but it was a Santa costume like that. And
inflatable kind you're talking about?
Yeah. And they ran up to the vent and they farted in it.
To the vent? I'm not sure what.
Like, it has like a little area so air can get in so you can get fresh air and stuff. So someone farted in that vent and the fart got trapped in the suit and they were trying to get it out.
That would beat the brakes off of somebody.
It was so funny.
Oh, I think I Is anyone else almost lost? So a guy's wearing an inflatable suit. There's a vent in the suit.
Yep.
Another person walked up, farted into. That's horrible.
That's hilarious.
That's horrible.
I laughed so hard.
And then the fart air gets trapped in the.
And he's running around. He's like trying to push it down. He's trying to push it.
I bet he looked more real as a dinosaur.
It was so funny.
That's horrible.
I'll try to find it and send it.
Yeah, I don't like being farted on.
This is the story. Boy, some of you folks, you really need to know when to just walk away from a relationship. This is absolutely... The woman's been dating a guy for over a year. He's lactose intolerant, but he still eats dairy, so he's always gassy and gross, according to the story. He farts near and around her face. He thinks it's funny. He gives her the damn Dutch oven every night. He thinks he's given her pink eye 4 times, according to the story. He farts on his hands and wipes it on her face.
Oh. Me and my boyfriend have been together for 2.5 years, and we have never done that in front of each other.
Well, of course.
And we never will.
No couple should do that, ever. I'm with you, and you know that. This is just unbelievable, but he's very kind and caring, and this is his only flaw. That is an insane flaw.
It's pretty insensitive if you said, hey, I really don't like this, and he keeps it up. I can't.
Get the hell out of there. I don't give a rat's ass how kind, what did she say? Kind and caring somebody is. If they're farting on your head, wiping this and that on your face, it says here, he sometimes doesn't wipe after going number 2 because he, quote, doesn't need to. He gets clean from showering. He farts loudly in public and then says, oh, gross, my girlfriend farted to embarrass her.
That is not funny.
You have to learn when this isn't working. This is ridiculous. You have to leave these people.
There are dudes out there that are kind and nice and sweet that don't do that.
Right, that
Plenty
aren't
of them.
5 years old.
Oh,
this is horrible.
Did you just wipe a fart on me? I've had, I grew up with a brother and an older cousin, and and friends that thought farts were funny, and I do see some humor in it at times.
I do too.
But and I've been farted on many, many times. Many times I've been assaulted with somebody's fart, but I can't imagine somebody wiping it on me. I thought the cup of soup was bad enough.
Yeah.
Don't even talk about the damn cup of soup. I hate the cup of soup.
I forgot about that.
When we were living at St. Cloud State, everybody wanted to play the cup of soup game. I got real tired of it.
You got the cup of soup a couple days ago?
No, it was maybe 2 weeks ago. I was cup of souped. And it was a thing where I turned around and there was the cup of soup.
Let me tell you something about this lady whose boyfriend is the fart humor king of the county. I really, honestly, I would rather be involved with someone with a terrible drinking or drug problem. I would rather they cheat on me nightly. But he's very kind and caring. This decision should be easily made by...
Yeah, I've never been in a relationship where either end has behaved that way.
That's horrible, absolutely repulsive and unforgivable.
You don't deserve to be in a relationship if you're going to act like that.
Have you ever had that, Ashley, in a relationship?
No. I've made it pretty clear in the beginning that I'm not a fan of anything like that.
Playing that game.
Not fart girl.
And it's funny because sometimes guys are like, oh, like, hey, yeah, right. Like, you're not that serious. I'm like, nah, no, I'm kidding. Like, I will walk away from you. This will not work.
Good for you.
You don't even like the word.
Nope.
Good for you.
Not at all. And,
I would rather they come in the door every night with a needle in their arm.
Yes.
Oh, boy. I saw another fart video.
Oh, no, you did not. You did not see another. Can we wait till we come back from commercial for your next friggin' fart video story? We'll be right back.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Oh, here we go again.
On 93X.
Guess what?
Chicken butt.
That's inappropriate, Dan. Why? Well, you're just out in the great wide open, but you wait till you come back in here to drop your guts?
I farted outside, too. It's a little bit overripe, but it's not like I'm falling apart on the inside.
It's time we draw a line in the sand.
On farts?
On farts. You rip an appropriate fart, we all have a giggle. Salute and pay tribute. But the inappropriate fart's gotta go.
I can't wait to find out what could possibly be deemed an inappropriate fart.
Farting in here. In here? With the door closed, yeah. Tight quarters, no airflow, poor form.
But I'm with friends. That's who farts are for.
Around food, too.
Around food?
Especially around people eating food. That's ignorant.
But I'm eating too. That's when I'm rife with farts.
Okay, Dan. Dan, okay. You're in a car. When's it okay to fart?
When you're alone.
1 point for dairy. It's always okay to fart when you're alone, but except when you're in elevators. That's uncouth.
You're trying to rob me of my lifebloods here.
When you can roll down the window.
Another point for dairy. But the car must be traveling a minimum of 60 kilometers an hour so that the fart may be aggressively vacuumed out before penetrating nostrils.
Was that Shorzy?
Close.
Yeah.
Letterkenny.
Letterkenny. Never saw it. I don't want to. Huh?
I was going to ask Ashley, is that one of the, you've moved over to the studio with me and Nick. Is that one of the things you like about being over here is you don't hear the Letterkenny and Shorzy quotes from those guys? Did you say it was overwhelming?
Yes, it was so much, and I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, Dana and Wapple quote that quite a bit.
Sometimes I would
talk, Josh.
Sometimes I would think that you guys were just saying things too, and I'm like, why would he say something like that? And then, Shorzy, Letterkenny, all right.
Letterkenny. What's the show where Shorzy is a character?
Shorzy's a spin-off of Letterkenny.
Oh, what a nightmare. I don't want to close the show or the week talking about farts, Josh. How are all your, speaking of television programs, how are all your television programs going?
So far, so good.
You looking forward to anything this weekend?
I haven't started American Primeval yet. We just started season 3 of The Lincoln Lawyer on Netflix, enjoying that one.
Perfect. Have you guys seen the crossover episode of Abbott Elementary and Always Sunny in Philadelphia yet?
No. I did. It was very funny.
Everybody was super excited about it, and it aired like 2 days ago, so it was on Hulu yesterday, and it was fantastic for anybody that likes that kind of humor.
I heard it's very funny.
And it's cool, too. So once the new Always Sunny season comes out, they'll show that perspective from the gang side, from the Always Sunny character, like how they saw how that day went, if that makes any sense.
Fair enough.
If you watch the show, you'll understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't understand what anyone's talking about, but I just thought it would serve us well to just cleanse the program, you know what I mean, before we leave. Move away from farting and just move on to something a little more. You know what I'm saying, Josh?
Yeah.
Agreed.
The evil in American Primeval is pretty much all farts. You couldn't fully get away from that.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
I don't remember that.
Oh, no. Well, there you go. We're going to wrap her up. Hope everyone has a terrific weekend. Thanks very much for listening.
Best of luck to Medical Device Jesus. His wife texted and let us know that he's having a procedure today. So good luck with that. Get well soon.
Oh, boy.
To Brian, a.k.a. Forklift Jesus, have a great retirement from Lumber Pigs and your friends here at 93X. Pothead Scorpio Jesus texted in to wish her dad, Mike, a safe journey to L.A. He's going out there to help with the wildfires.
Old Mike, huh?
Built like a house, hung like a mouse, Jesus, and Mouse Hunter Jesus would like to give their baby girl turning the big 04 today a happy birthday shout out. Beer and Pizza Jesus text in a happy birthday to her pops like a frickin' laser, Jesus. Happy 51st to Rainbow Baby Jesus, listening all the way in Alaska, and we sure appreciate it. From Rat Rules 92 Jesus. Happy 45th to Tony. Happy birthday to Travis, turning the big 01 today. From Mom and Dad, Acid Reflux Jesus. And happy 16th birthday to Riley from Mom, Dad, Aubrey, and Marley. Have a great weekend.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor. Dana here for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. We all know January is one of the coldest months of the year, and not that cheery, fun kind of Christmas cold. Nah, just the dark, dank January cold. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is well aware of this, and that's why they're offering $40 off a furnace tune-up to keep you warm during the Minnesota cold. The last thing you want is to be huddled around an iffy space heater you bought from some shady targeted ad. Oh, and how about this? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning has now been helping Minnesotans for over 95 years. So book your appointment now at standardheating.com. That's standardheating.com.